Tornado Tag Podcast, episode 160. We're going to be talking about King of the Ring 1994. We're going to get into some current events of this week in wrestling, get some plugs at the end. Before we get into all that, just let you know, the iwepnetwork.com. You can check out the rest of our awesome shows on this network and show some support. The links below will also take you to our Patreon, donations, and tips if you feel welcome to, or to follow us on all social media, as well as grab some merch. So we do have our brand new tapestry hanging up tonight, our JC Storm tapestry, as everyone just looks like they're staring at Brian.
Yeah.
Yes, look at me, everybody. Look at me.
The head
For
of
those
the
that are
podcast.
audio only, there is Wrestler JC Storm on the fly.
Yeah,
what
so
would, what would
we-
you, a tapestry,
A
flag
tapestry, on the website.
yes.
Their tapestry.
We are going to order everyone and kind of rotate each episode, each of our logos. Also, I'm thinking of bringing the shows and have the people who have done the shows, like have them sign it.
You should bring that other banner you got to the show this weekend.
Yeah,
That'd be fun.
I ordered a this banner and a main event banner, and they sent me someone else's banner by mistake. I don't hate it. It's a dope looking banner. I just don't know if I'm allowed to fly it or like.
Oh, you're allowed.
Yeah, I'm allowed, but I don't know. We'll be like I'll get like hit with the culture vulture maybe.
Yeah, you'll be
ingenuine message.
Yeah, I support the message. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a Black Panther flag. It says
What, T'Challa? Yeah, right.
It's called Power to All the People, and it has the big cool panther and the red circle. It's a dope banner. If anybody wants it, let me know. You can have it for free. But
I want
send it back.
you
I'll
want it?
take it. Yeah.
No, you can have it.
All right.
You can have it. There you go.
Brian's taking it.
Sold. Yeah. So let's get into our first thing first. Our this week in wrestling. This week in wrestling.
Oh,
not
I'm
history.
not gonna do the thing.
Well,
Yeah.
It's my show. Damn it.
Yeah. This week in wrestling. Brian, I'm sure we'll start off with the hot one here.
Yeah. Cody Rhodes, I think, is the big one here. He's got that thing that
Body paint.
yeah.
There's people who legit believe that.
It's stardust coming out of him.
Yeah.
He's slowly becoming Stardust.
Yeah,
It's the
maybe
people
that's
that-
how he transitions back. to
Everything's at
Stardust.
work. But then there's the exact opposite. A guy asked me, side tangent, he watches wrestling. Everybody's not real smart. I mean, he's to the business.
Wrestling.
He's not an idiot. And he said, is Ezekiel really Elias's brother?
Yeah.
And I go, no.
Yeah.
And he's
What?
like, well, his eyes look farther apart than Elias's. And I was like,
You should have rolled with it.
oh God.
So this
So
when
like
you,
this is a grown man
when you get
who
that,
has children and a
Yeah.
job.
when you get those tidbits and people, you have to just go with it. Like, yeah, they're
Well, he
close.
was still unsure after I
they're,
told him
they're
so.
brothers.
Yeah.
I would say no, they're actually not related at all. They just look very similar.
Yeah.
so-
What they should do
They made them
is
brothers.
just have LA Knight grow a beard.
Who's LA Knight?
yeah.
Because he
Who?
kind of looks like.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you don't know, do you?
Oh, he has a new name.
Yep.
What's his new name?
Max
Dupree. Oh, Dupree. Yeah, that's right. Make him grow a beard because he could pass off as Elias.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fucking awesome. I love that storyline. But yeah, Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. So he news broke over the weekend before the Hell in a Cell Premium Live event.
Premium live event.
Plea.
The Hell in a Cell.
Just call it paper.
That Cody had suffered a torn pectoral, a partially torn pec.
And if you missed it, you're crazy because they had to tell us 18 fucking times just in the pre-show.
Well,
Well, listen, in bait and
Cody
switch.
Rhodes did not get hurt fighting Seth Rollins, but he did somewhat tear himself fighting him back. Seth did not hurt him.
to be fair, there is no more matches on pre-shows, so
but-
they have
but
to talk about something.
But they even did
And
like
it's an
13
hour.
times leading into the
Mhm.
match. Seth Rollins did not hurt Cody. Cody hurt himself fighting Seth.
Which makes it worse.
And then hurt himself even more weight training.
Here's
for
the
the
mistake you
title.
made. Here's the mistake you made. You watched the pre-show.
yeah,
Why
never
would you
watch-
do that?
Never watch that. There's no. They don't
Why?
have matches anymore.
Yeah.
They're totally
Yeah, there is no
nonsense.
matches.
And they're an hour long of
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
them jabbering.
Yeah.
So, basically, it's like the news. They have 5 minutes of actual subject matter,
Yeah.
and they just repeat that for
There's
an hour.
enough dead time during the pay-per-view itself. You don't need to do the hour of dead time
Yeah.
before.
I think
it,
I just
too.
had it on in the background. I was playing on my phone. But
Mm.
yeah, they just he did not get hurt by Seth.
Well, no.
I want to be very clear with
He's a
that.
very strong man. He
Oh
hurt
my
himself
God.
with his own strength with
lifting
weightlifting,
weights.
Yeah.
Yes, and he is a real man,
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
he will fight.
Are you saying he's not? I know you don't like Cody Rhodes, but it takes a lot of
It does.
guts to do what he did.
100%?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
And
I'd be like 9 wrestle.
it 100% does. Seth Rollins, I think more credit goes to Seth as well
Yeah.
for fucking protected him because
No, I put more credit to Cody.
Yeah.
Mhm.
some of those
That
spots, I'm like, oh, I'm going to take this from a guy with a half a pack. And I'm like, oh, you're not picking me up. Like, that's all there is to
Well,
it.
I mean,
Like, you're not dropping me up.
I
a
don't
fucking
think
neck.
anything was done that was.
I thought they did very
two
well.
wrestling
I thought
people,
two very talented people put a very,
Yeah.
very good match on. I'm not discrediting Cody Rhodes for his performance and his gutsiness and all that. If me and you are wrestling and we have to protect each other in there and you're like, look what happened, I'd be like, I'm not.
Yeah, I
Fucking
mean,
go
but
home.
you can go. You can work around it. Like, obviously, he's not going to put you up and do the fucking bulldog suplex for the count to 10 or 20.
Yeah,
Like,
just-
at what point does that become negligence?
It was close.
Well, be on his own, you know.
Well,
But these are this whole thing about like people aren't going to be cleared. You're not able to be cleared. It seems like they have really relaxed that we're
Yeah.
not clearing people
yeah.
anymore.
We'll see how much negligence happens come Money in the Bank.
Well, somebody said
True.
it was if it's all the way ripped off, it can't get any worse. But still, I mean, something else could go.
Yeah,
because
sure,
then you're
sure.
using other muscles to
When
like,
you're-
compensate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when you have a blown out knee and then you're like, well, I can get by on my bad knee, and then
You calling me out?
you throw your lower back out or you throw your other knee out or your ankle because you're overcompensating something
Yeah.
else. Like that can be sketchy.
I
but-
mean, that looked like it had a hurt. Look at that bruise on
I mean,
it.
Oh,
he,
yeah.
when he was running the
God.
ropes, he didn't hook his arm once.
He,
just flat shoulder into the
Ugh.
rope.
before he went out there, they probably put about 4 or 5 bottles of cortisone in him.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they
Just
they
to
Might
really
have
get
shot him
through.
with something too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I'm saying, the
They picked
cortisone
the
shots.
sledgehammer as the whole of his left hand, and this arm's like because you can't do anything with that arm. It's just for show.
cortisone,
At that point.
painkillers, the whole nine.
He was on
Yeah.
all of it.
Yeah.
If he had more in him than a Click member in the 90s.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yes, he did. Like I said,
except
gutsy,
Triple H. Triple
gutsy
H was
performance. It's just
But then it's like the guy with the one arm just beat Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins is
with a
nobody.
pedigree and a sledgehammer.
that's the new golden boy right there.
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
And here's the thing
Forgive
I'll
and
say.
forget.
Here's the thing I'll say. That Cody is very unique in that there's not a lot of people who are ambivalent about Cody Rhodes. There's not a lot of people like, Cody Rhodes, I could take him or leave
Yeah.
him. You either really like him or you really hate him. And there's two guys that have been like that in the last 20 years in WWE. Roman Reigns and John Cena.
Mhm.
That's good company to be in. That's good
And
company
they
to
like
be in.
that. So I mean,
Oh,
Yeah.
Vince
Vince.
their number one face
Vince is, Vince is like,
until John Cena returns next week or
yeah,
whenever
yeah,
that's coming.
2 weeks, I think, the 20s.
I mean, that's only for a little bit, but still.
It's gonna be very interesting what the title picture looks like now. WWE with him not there, Money in the Bank coming up.
Apparently,
least the-
Roman supposedly not on the show now because it moved
Yeah.
out of the stadium.
Oh,
At least they do have that opportunity with Money in the Bank to where they don't have to commit to anything. Look at the Otis situation.
Oh yeah,
you could,
this
you could
Money-
do anything.
Yeah.
do
right?
not get hung up on whoever wins this Money in the Bank because
Yeah.
regardless of how this goes down or who wins that briefcase, Cody's getting his.
Well, given the timetable, it might make more sense for Cody to win the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
I would
Unless
agree.
that he can do something where he gets, but then it's like, oh, he starts the match and gets knocked out.
With how,
And that's gonna get heat, from people.
yeah,
If he gets knocked out, all of a sudden climbs ladder at the end, wins.
I will almost guarantee that if he doesn't wrestle, there'll be a whole thing where he has fought tooth and nail with the back to go out there, and they're telling him he can't, and he's barred from the arena
Well, the thing is,
because he's such a badass.
it's a 6-month injury,
Yeah,
so
I
they're
hate
probably going to say because of the attack by Seth Rollins, he had to undergo surgery, and then you're gonna
which was also unneeded.
Yeah.
Seth could have been your face.
anybody who watched that pay per view realized, hey, Cody probably shouldn't wrestle for a few months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
You didn't need it. You didn't need a further.
I can see them kind of like what Tony's saying, but I could see them down the line once he comes back challenging whoever won that Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yeah, then
to
winning
another,
it.
another ladder.
That could
match,
happen.
basically.
That only works if it's a babyface into a babyface match. 'Cause
Or
why
if
would he agree to that?
Or if Seth
Yeah.
Rollins wins the Money in the Bank.
Don't see him winning though.
And then they're like, well, you took me out and took my chance
Goad
away.
him into the match.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It'll be awful.
Yeah,
I'll hate it, but that's
Well,
I wouldn't
That's
doubt
something
it.
they would do, I think.
That would be the
That's
way to
me.
justify Cody winning because Seth might do it just to say, okay, now I'm going to do it because I went 0-3 against you and now I can beat you. But then the risk you run with that is now you're going to have Seth go 0-4 against Cody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly they don't care. Seth has lost every big pay-per-view.
Yeah, but
match
what
that
was
he's-
Seth Rollins' last big win? That's a good.
He lost every match in the
when
Edge
he
feud.
poked Ray's eye out. Was that the last time he had a
It
big
may have
win?
been.
When he got DQ'd in Hell in a Cell.
No, he.
Wow, you're
yeah.
going back too many years
Yeah.
now.
I forget. I can't name one off the top of
He's
my head.
good,
I have
man.
no idea.
I
like
think
him,
the last big pay-per-view match he won was against Dominic
Oh,
in Dominic's
oh,
first
boy.
match.
It might be.
at the COVID
Oh,
SummerSlam.
wow.
Yeah, listen, I think Cody Rhodes is extremely talented. He's good on the mic, all that. It just for me, I just can't get into that golden babyface person.
But good, he's a heel for you.
and
That's
it's,
fine.
and it's insufferable to me.
But you have a reaction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's better than when I
Floundering.
can't think of
'Cause
someone
it's
that's
better
when
than
you walk out and like, oh, the
crickets.
24/7 where he's like, oh.
There are a lot of people who just don't care one way or another about Drew McIntyre, and he's good. He's
Yeah.
talented. He's been pushed well, but some people just don't care. Either way.
I just see a guy like Drew, or I see a guy like 85% of that WWE roster where it's like, I can't invest in you because that company's not going to. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, this is my number one guy.
Who?
And if you're not Roman,
Maybe-
if you're not
Who
Cody,
do you think could be their number one guy that they're not investing in?
What do you?
if
What
you're
do
a
you?
Seth fan, it's got to be like
He
being
had,
a
he
fucking
had, he had
Browns
his
fan.
run as number one
What
guy.
does invest in mean to you?
Like invest, like, do I think this guy is gonna, like, do I think the company gets behind this guy enough to put a title or work with him to the top or anything like that?
Or have them be on consistently for the last 3 years?
Yeah,
Because that is
Seth,
the
he
majority of the
can't
roster.
get a better
Well,
spot than Seth. Yeah, he's not world
Yeah.
champion.
If you're saying I can only get invested in a guy if he's going to be the top guy and the world champion, then yes.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like Kevin Owens, like when they
Kevin
finally-
Owens is never going to be the top guy.
when they
He
put him
doesn't-
in exactly, and
But
that
they've
bothers
invested
me.
up for
I
mid-card
think he's
guys.
just as good as being the top guy.
But they've invested in him. And you can't push everyone at once.
I understand, but even when he was pushed, he
Yeah.
was there just to get beat by the main guy.
Yeah.
He's never going to be the cornerstone.
He's like every single person in WWE is Kyle O'Reilly. I'm gonna go out there and put on a great performance because I'm very talented, but you'll never put a title on me.
Oh, they put titles on Owens all the time. He was like the second.
He
or
was
third
he was
Universal champion.
handed a world title, and then he
He was a
He
heel.
beat John Cena for the U.S. title
Exactly.
in his first match.
He was
Yeah.
a guy who was never afraid to fight and went out there and kicked the shit out of John Cena, then was handed a world title and then ran away from everybody for 2 years. He went from fight Owens fight
Well,
to
no,
I'm
well-
scared to fight Owens fight.
No, what happened there? There was actually a storyline with him
I
and
hated
Sami
it.
Zayn.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn and him were a tag team, and they went up against an authority figure.
Yeah.
And was the blow off there the Shane McMahon and Kevin Owens?
The Hell in a
Oh yeah,
Cell.
that was
Sami
great.
Zayn.
Still investing in him.
Well,
They
the
gave
bluff
him-
was actually WrestleMania was Kevin and Sammy
I
against
mean,
Bryan
I
Danielson.
think they
Yeah.
gave him
Okay.
his one reward for re-signing the contract, and now it's kind of just flounder for the next. few
Absolutely,
years.
He
And it
also
sucks.
did get to main event WrestleMania with Stone
he
Cold
got
in his
Steve
first
Austin's
match.
first
Yeah,
match. in
Yeah,
20
no
years.
one can
Listen,
say that.
him and Roman had great matches, and the whole time watching, I'm like, man, like I know he's never gonna win, but
I-
those
I get what-
they
I get
were
what
great
Tony's-
fucking matches. Like
Tony's trying to say, wishes he would be in a better position than where he's at.
Well,
instead
the
of
only-
just kind of
Well, the only
in
other
background.
position he could be is champion.
Yeah, and he's not gonna be
Yeah.
because he's not jacked.
Yeah.
WWE is
They-
never going to have a fat indie guy be their number one baby.
and even
Yeah.
even if you are a champion, because look at anything that's not the world champion, it doesn't
Oh,
even matter
well,
because they
that
don't
don't
care about them
matter.
anyway. Like
No.
so, even if they invest in you to put you a
that's the
title,
problem that AEW is quickly having.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
at least they're in
that's-
storylines that are fucking enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
They
I,
just,
I
like,
think they're
regardless of a title or no title, AEW storylines, I can be like, you know what? They're not main event guys, but I'm enjoying the best friend storyline, or I'm enjoying the hook house and
Yeah,
stuff
but
because it's
for-
entertaining. WWE storylines
for
are
the
like,
most part, they're
who
better.
fucking
yes.
cares?
WWE has bad booking. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Yeah. Because titles don't mean shit to me. It just invest me
No,
in a storyline
doesn't
that
mean
means
shit
something.
to them either.
Yeah.
But again, how often do you watch?
What?
Who's the
Yeah.
U.S. champion?
I think I
Theory.
watched.
Theory.
Oh, I forgot. I thought it's
Yeah.
Matt Riddle.
They're actually trying to do something with him, but they're
Who's the Intercontinental?
Oh, you're gonna
Ricochet.
love this.
Nakamura?
Well, Ricochet, but hope maybe he loses it to Gunther.
Oh, well,
On
no, that'd be
SmackDown.
good.
If Theory and Gunther are your IC and US champions, then they might actually be taking the belts a little more seriously.
Yeah, there's two guys that can go.
let's hope so.
Because
Yeah.
Gunther can go, and then Theory is a guy they really.
I
do
mean,
believe
Ricochet is
a
real
guy
good
for the
too, but
future.
obviously they're
not gonna push
They
him.
don't
They
care.
have
about
nothing. They
Ricochet.
have nothing to do with him. Yeah.
You can't.
It's negative charisma. So that
Yeah.
a guy with negative charisma is never going to make it in WWE.
He would be much better if he was Prince Puma.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I'd agree. I would probably repackage him to be honest.
Yeah.
You put a mask on him, put a mask on Dom, make him a tag team. There you
Nailed
go.
it. All right.
I like it.
Anything else with Cody that we didn't?
It's expected to be out. I think they said like 4 to 6 months.
Yeah, which would put him to October at the earliest. But probably just hold off then. Just put him
If he's
for a
got-
Rumble.
if it's December, yeah, just
Unless
hold
they
off,
just
whatever.
can't wait and it's like money in their pocket, burn a hole in
this is
their
the
pocket.
problem when you only have two guys that you actually give a shit about. Is that when two guys either aren't going to work or one gets hurt, then you're like, oh fuck, what do we do now?
I
Now
don't know.
let's try to put someone there that we didn't give a fuck about for 6 months. Let's hope the fans buy into it.
well, Bobby Lashley they've somewhat protected.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't think they've had any sort of plan ever as a backup?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Not
No.
when they're throwing away storylines.
Vince
hours
has
before
that one. This is where we're going. Well, what if something happens? Well, worry about that when we get there.
Yeah. You know we have other titles, Vince. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, Vince, don't.
Yeah.
What titles?
Exactly. They were going to do a women's tag team title tournament and then just went, nah, we're over it.
Well, Dana Brooke has switched shows. I think Dana Brooke is now on Velocity, and it hasn't been around for years. I think we're Velocity too with this lighting.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you. And then they put Becky near that 24/7 time. What are they doing?
Or Becky, yeah.
What? Oh,
Especially when your storyline is I'm degraded to the 27. Like you're literally telling your main person to go out there
This
and
is shit.
and
Yeah.
say that title's a joke.
Everybody knows it is.
I mean,
so
yeah, might as
what's
well.
the harm?
oh, poor Becky.
It's crazy. I
So
don't
it
know.
can't just be poor Becky. It can't also be good for Dana.
No.
Good for.
No.
I still think the 24/7 title has legs, but you have to put the right person on
No.
who's going to put the social media presence into it.
Well,
When it
Brock
was-
Lesnar.
When it was our truth, it was
Like-
fun. It was entertaining.
Well,
It's not going to be a world title caliber, but it's at
No.
least entertaining to fucking watch.
Yeah. It's not like the
Go-
hardcore
what-
title was.
here,
I was
world
just-
title
what was your
entertainment.
favorite
I was just gonna
24/7
say
moment?
that.
All of it with our truth when he was wrestling in fucking Times Square.
That's an easy answer.
It was entertaining.
What's your favorite Ric Flair match? All of them.
Those sorry when he was fucking hiding under lampshades and acting like it was super slapstick.
Oh god.
Or when he pinned a guy at a fucking flight on the home race.
Let's
So I was like,
remember that Tony likes the gimmicky
Yeah.
stuff.
And that's fine.
And
But if
that's
you're
okay.
Yeah.
if you're gonna do that, go all out. Go DDT.
Yeah, have it real goofy.
Oh, yeah.
Have the ladder win the
Have a
title.
box be the champion. Have a bowl of rice be the champion.
Yeah.
Have
Have a wrestling dummy be the
Yeah.
champion. Yeah.
have the
Listen,
sex
I-
doll be the
Have the
champion.
belt win itself.
That was the 1000th champion. Yeah.
I was a fan of the Sami Zayn Johnny Knoxville match. I thought it was entertaining.
Yeah.
It was fun. I don't know. But I know every title can't be a world title thing. But
Well, every title shouldn't be a world title.
exactly.
Too.
Well, let's just segue into titles.
Oh
Yes.
yes, because another title in AEW now, the AEW All Atlantic title,
Mhm.
which somehow has pictures of the Japanese and Chinese flags.
Okay,
on
if
its
we were
belt.
going to do that, let's rename it something different.
Well,
Let's,
Well, let's see.
the Oceanic
But
title or
Oceanic makes you think Australia though.
Well, I don't know. Then.
But
Like,
the perfect
something
word is there,
different,
but they can't use it. You can't call it the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like
Outer
Atlantic,
Continental.
Atlantic seems like it's thrown back to like Mid-Atlantic. That's just like a term
Yeah,
that's
you
associated.
could call it
with
the Atlantic
wrestling.
Pacific title. You could call it
Yeah, the
the
Atlantic Pacific
you-
would have been good.
Intercoastal. I don't know. That's
throw it
stupid
back to
sounding.
the old WCW, the international title.
Yeah, you could
And only international wrestlers, which it seems like what they might be doing, can compete because the tournament you have all people from outside the United States.
States. Even though the U.S. flag is on it, is it not?
I don't know.
I don't.
I know the British flag.
Oh no, it is.
Japanese.
It is.
I
Oh,
thought so.
okay.
It is.
Yeah,
Which makes no sense
I,
then.
I think they will have American people go for it, but I think the first couple champions are going to be some people from not America.
I
winning
also
it.
think if they do this right, they should do it. And I think it was in our chat, and I agreed with it. They should do it in between promotions, in between New Japan,
Yeah.
in between.
I think
Ring of
it will
Honor,
be.
in between AEW.
I think it was.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
for the
AOL.
beginning of it will predominantly be defended and shown on AEW television.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can definitely see that, especially with this open door policy, where
Yep.
it can go to ROH if they get their own program. It'll go to New Japan. It'll
Well,
go,
ROH is basically the same thing. No, it would be
Yeah.
New Japan would be the big one, and just
Yeah.
what you do there is just do a flip. So you have a New Japan guy have that title for a while, and then you have an AEW guy have the IWGP US
and
title.
it's a great way to get people to
Mhm.
cross promote and go from show to show, and
That's
we give them
right.
a reason from Japan to come to AEW.
So-
and-
Or for people to go back, like Yuta
Yeah.
would be a good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
easy
So-
US.
So yeah, the title itself has 6 flags on it. It's like a theme park. It has the Mexican flag, it has the Chinese flag, the UK flag, the US flag, the Canadian flag, and the Japanese flag.
Hmm.
The only problem is now when you have 24 people in AEW who walk out to the ring with titles, whether they're regularly defended official titles or not, when half your roster is walking out with titles, walking out with the title doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah, perception is reality.
It
Then
loses
if,
its special.
if you don't watch
quality.
wrestling in a while, you'd say, "Wow, there's a lot of
to me,
belts here."
so here's where I don't have a problem with it, and I don't have a problem with the the interim title thing.
Interim.
Interim, yeah. I don't have an issue with it because being a mixed martial arts fan and watching boxing and mixed martial arts.
But is it? I don't mean I'm no
Dude, there's
way, but
boxers
but
who
isn't there
walk
a weight
out
class?
with 100 fucking titles.
Yeah.
And
Like,
how many boxing titles mean anything?
they don't. But
The most important the most important boxing title of the last 20 years is Floyd Mayweather Jr., a person, not a champion. He didn't need a title.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is so like if I see the only difference I have in this company, we do live in an era where most of the internet wrestling community and the people who watch it, if you don't have a title around your waist, you're even if you're in a great storyline, it doesn't mean shit to anybody.
Well, yeah, look at our conversation about WWE.
It still
I
doesn't matter
disagree to
because
that.
people still bitch about Ricochet, and he's been Intercontinental Champion for 3 months.
Because they don't give a shit about their title. At least the AEW, when your title or you're in a storyline, it somewhat means something. Even if we're like,
AEW doesn't give a shit about the TNT title; it gets passed around like a hot potato.
Yeah.
They protect their world title.
I think
Yeah.
the
protect
only
their tag titles.
The
that's
world
about it.
title is probably their best booked
Their
title.
tag title even has been hot shotted at times.
Yeah, and Jurassic Express reign is. Really
I think it has changed a lot, and it has, but I think the time frames of when the TNT title was changed was appropriate. The only time it was kind of screwy is when
It was Cody.
when
and
it was
Sammy.
kind of holding them up with Cody and Sammy.
Yeah, Sammy and Scorpio. They could have cut out a title change there.
Yeah, and that was unnecessary because it was
Yeah.
like Sammy, Scorpio, Scammy.
Yeah,
Scorpio,
I mean,
back to
since-
Sammy,
right.
back to Scorpio. I was like,
And now it's
what?
going to be Sammy and Wardlow, and you're almost guaranteeing Wardlow's going to take the
Kind of,
title.
yeah. And
Well,
it's like,
and at one point, it's like
I think
kinda
Tony
hope
Khan
so,
just really likes getting new
and then
belts.
he
to
has
me.
it for a long time.
yeah, that's how we were saying a lineup. I think he just really likes belts.
He's got money. He could spend it on gold.
There's some pretty good looking belts though.
Now, if there was only they're very
They
nice
are.
belts,
Yeah.
but now if the ROH belts went around, and they didn't have the Moen belts floating around, and the FTW, then you would just have 3 male titles, and then
Two female
and,
titles.
yeah,
Two
2 female
female.
tag, and the tag titles. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Here's
But then
the
you
rule.
add 6 more. Now it's bad,
Here's the rule:
Trios are coming.
one title,
which is even worse.
one singles title for every hour of television you have.
There you
That's
go.
the rule, and YouTube doesn't count.
I mean, it's the rule, but
I'm just making that rule. It's
yeah,
my
I'm
rule.
just saying. I
That's Brian's role.
I don't mind it. I can care less if someone has a title or not. It doesn't mean anything to me. As
Yeah,
long-
that's the problem.
As long as
right there, what you
as
just
long as
said.
the storyline's
That's the
fine
problem
to
with
me.
too many titles.
It's a screenwriting concept called too much marzipan, where you just put too much fluff on something, or in wrestling, like they'll say it's putting a hat on a hat.
What it does is now people are going to go out and buy the action figure with the title, and they're going to collect titles.
Yeah, but they're buying that action figure anyway.
Yeah, I mean, but it does help if someone if you're buying a Darby Allin with a skateboard. You're
Okay,
buying
well that
Darby
helps
Allin with
toys.
the TNT
So we're
title.
making toys, or we're making good
Well, any
wrestling product?
marketing is going to help if the title's involved.
Historically, this happened with Crockett because you had
Mhm.
it happened in the late '80s because you had the world title, then you had the U.S. title, you had the TV title, you had the
States Heritage,
Western
title.
States
The
Heritage title.
Excuse me.
How often were they all seen and produced on TV?
pretty
Are-
regularly.
Regularly?
Yeah. You had the tag titles, you had the U.S. tag titles,
And then
you had the 6-man titles, and then they bought UWF, and you had the UWF title and the
Yeah.
UWF TV title. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I think the
Except
problem
it's
is
UWF
you're going to have all
ROH.
these storylines, and then every storyline is going to have a title implication every pay per view, and I think
Then
that's
it doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
but
That's our whole point.
And then
Yeah.
you also go from, instead of having 14 matches, then you have 20 if you're adding more titles.
yeah,
No more matches, please.
yeah, they need to cut
Less
that down.
matches.
Yeah. It's weird. It's a
Well,
weird dynamic
well,
where
no.
one show doesn't even show their Intercontinental
Yeah.
Champion, and the other one's making the title for every storyline they're in.
And I
It's-
think that's my main gripe with AEW as a whole, is that it's over exposure about everything. Too many matches, too
Well,
many
because they're
titles,
get-
too
I think
much of.
Tony Khan is also being super heavily criticized as well. Be like, well, you have all these guys that you brought in, you're not using them, you're not putting titles on them, and he's probably like, I know a guy who makes belts. You know what I mean? Like, who knows? I don't know. It's weird.
he really likes titles.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
So
you
the
can
tour.
still book a great storyline and not have any belts.
Yeah.
Gold member, Tony Khan.
Give medals.
He does love gold. So the tournament itself, Pac beat Buddy Matthews in one of the opening round matches.
Very good.
Good match.
Ethan
Yeah.
Page against Miro will be another opening match.
That should be good,
I can't
too.
imagine Miro losing that match.
No, I think
think
he's probably going to win it. And him versus whoever the New Japan guy is.
Well, it's going to be a 4-way.
oh, that's right. Yeah,
So
that's right.
it's Pac against the winner of Ethan Page and Miro against the winner of Penta Oscuro and Malachi Black against the New Japan guy.
Oh, so it ends in a 4-way, not a 1-on-1.
Yes. At
So-
Forbidden Door, right?
Well, yeah, because they have to do 3 more first round matches, and then the main event is in Forbidden Door. Forbidden Door is going to be
June 25th.
June 26th. It's going to be 2 weeks from this Sunday.
I was just gonna say about 2
It's not that far away.
That's
No.
the Sunday
Let's-
before Cena
let's-
returns.
Let's speculate who are the 2 Japan guys.
I don't know.
If they're going to win, it's got to be somebody big. It's going to be like Naito
Yeah,
or
that's a good
Sonata or
call.
somebody like that.
Other than that, like
Well, who do you
Unless you
want
put
to
Goto in
see
there.
with
I know
Pac,
he's-
Malachi? I'm just saying Malachi because I think he's.
I think
older.
yeah, I would assume he's.
Would Jay White count?
I don't think put Jay White there because he's just wrestling Okada for the title like in 3 days.
But also,
Okay.
but Goto's wrestling
Yeah, Tanahashi.
Tanahashi
in
for
that
the right
match
to go
that he
against
totally will win.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on now.
Maybe it's evil.
Yeah. Oh god.
Oh no.
Well,
Oh
it's
no.
evil versus Yano. But actually, I would like to see Yano.
Well,
'cause he's
what
good.
if you have two high flyer strikers in Pac and Malachi, and then you have two brutes where you're saying everybody wants who do you want?
Ishii? I could
Ishii.
say Ishii.
But I want
Ishii.
Miro and Ishii 1-on-1. I
Yeah.
don't want him in
Yeah.
a 4-way.
You still get that moment.
No. I want the match.
I don't know who. I don't know. The New Japan could be toss up. Maybe it'd be the tag team tournament show. Show.
Maybe it's gonna be Master Wato.
Oh
Great
god.
Khan.
No, Great Okan's gonna
Oh.
be the tag title match.
What we got here?
Maybe Taguchi.
Ben Kane says Captain Poopkins from TikTok here. What's going on? Yeah, we're trying the TikTok thing, so it's kind of cool that a TikToker is now hanging out with
No,
us in our
okay,
live
yeah.
chat. So hey, thanks for hanging out with us. At any time, if you guys have any input that you guys feel we're talking about, just know we have a little delay, so it might. So don't just type in something because we'll probably forget because we just go off the rails here. But yeah, please interact and let us know what you think about what's going on in professional wrestling. All right. Yeah.
The other big news from Dynamite: Will Ospreay
Mhm.
is
Made his
now
debut.
and his United Empire stable.
A little bit of a lackluster debut. But
Yeah.
I didn't know any of those. I knew Hanare. He used to
Yeah,
have
that's
like
about
the indigenous Australian gimmick.
His
and it never-
name is Henry, but they can't say it in Japan, so it became Hanare.
Yeah. So it's Aaron Hanare.
I am not familiar with a Japan product, so I knew Ospreay just because of his name. And
Well,
his,
Will Ospreay is very good.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah. And he was the world champion, and then he got hurt. So he never actually lost it. And then Coda had it, but then Coda got hurt. It was bad. It was
He's
Japan's
and you
bad.
said he
Bad
put a lot
luck
of
with
weight
that
on,
belt.
right?
He
Like,
did put a lot of muscle on.
he was
He
a
skinny.
junior.
Yeah. And then he really put on a lot of
He's
muscle.
like
and he
Buddy
still do
Matthews
flips
big.
and
He's
stuff.
pretty big.
Yeah, he's looking really good. So.
Yeah.
He's more of a complete wrestler now.
Yeah, not as much of a high flyer because he had that thing where he like landed on his head.
Yeah.
And then Jericho said, "Hey, what were you doing?" I don't know the other guys though.
Aussie
'Cause I haven't.
Open.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis. Not TJP is in that stadium
Oh wow.
or stable.
TAP's cool.
But yeah, I guess they're newer people. The Aussie Open, they were trained by Travis Banks, who I guess we shouldn't talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Madison Eagles. They're just Australian guys.
They spent a lot of time in progress.
Not TMDK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like they're building up a multi-man match or a 6-man tag. Or
Yeah,
something.
best friends against.
Which is like for Will Ospreay, like no, okay.
Yeah.
He'll be able to get his spots in.
Yeah.
The well, speaking of multiple man matches, we have a 3-way tag ladder match coming up. Not a TLC. A ladder
There's
match.
going to be
That's
tables and
copyrighted,
chairs.
so-
Yeah.
You got to do TLCC like ECW did.
Why
Tape-
can't it just be CLT?
Or CTE.
Oh boy,
Oh,
that's usually what happens in those
Zing.
matches.
So
Yeah.
Crippler Crossface is strongly encouraged.
Yeah. who do we got?
the Bucks.
The Bucks, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a transition.
Unless you put him in the Hardy Boys for like 2
Yeah,
months.
if the Hardy's going to be a very quick
Yeah.
champion.
Just remember who said it first. I said the Bucks lose to the Hardy Boys, and the Hardy Boys have a short title reign just to say they did it.
Well,
Remember?
the Hardy
Oh,
Boys are getting the title at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, before they're done.
I mean,
Just
them
remember-
winning it in a ladder match would make the most amount of sense.
Yeah.
Because then the two main teams can take each other out.
Yeah.
One of them can go up.
Get them.
Honestly, I could see a Christian heel turn in that match,
Yeah.
push Jungle Boy off
Yeah.
the ladder, say, "Hey, I'm sick."
They even had Jungle Boy looking like, what the hell are you doing
Yeah.
this for?
Yeah.
Time to get.
Because
They're
Jungle,
starting to tease that a little bit.
Christian
They've
Cage is
teased it
pretty much
for a
calling the shots for Jurassic Express.
Yeah,
Like,
They've been teasing that almost like they've been
but
teasing the Julia Hart.
It's also
Yeah.
twofold because nobody else can talk on that team. So
yeah, it's,
Yeah.
yeah, unless they're breaking that team up. And then
and then who do you?
because there were reports that like there are concerns about Darby Allin as a top babyface because he can't cut a promo. I'm like, what about Jungle Boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta get some more managers.
Jungle Boy
Darby's-
makes Darby Allin look like The Rock.
Right. Right.
At least Darby Allin had that one decent promo with MJF.
Yeah, when they his pre-recorded ones,
Besides
not
just
bad.
being willing to jump off stuff in ring, does Darby Allin do anything for anybody? Besides,
I think he's a good wrestler.
Yeah,
I really
he's not
liked his match
bad.
with O'Reilly, but I don't know if that.
I really like any match O'Reilly's in,
Him,
though, yeah.
his best
O'Reilly's
match I think
incredibly
was
talented.
him and MJF at that opening of the pay-per-view.
Yes.
that was very good.
Darby does nothing for me.
I mean, he's a little small.
He's like 38 pounds and he does a corner
He needs-
splash. and
needs to
you're
put
like,
some
oh,
weight
that's
on."
believable.
Yeah, it's really his like timing and like his coolness, his like
Yeah, he paints his
agility to
face
get out of.
and he's the one to jump
Yeah.
down concrete stairs.
You don't think he has a cool look
No.
See,
at
I think
all? See, I think
he
he's cool,
looks-
very merchandisable.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he
remember
paints his
that.
face, puts a skull on. It's cool. He's, and
He
but
really
many people
appeals to
do, yeah.
those younger kids too. I think like those late teenagers,
Yeah,
maybe,
maybe.
early
I'm gonna-
20s.
I'm gonna
these
say the same
teenage
thing.
angsty kids.
Exactly. I'm going to say
Yeah.
the same thing that I said about Orange Cassidy a few years ago when we talked about like him as a big player. There's probably an inordinate amount of AEW fans relative to his push, where you ask them who's your favorite wrestler, and they'll say Darby Allin.
Yeah.
Just
I mean,
'cause
listen,
he appeals to a niche,
and
like
Darby,
Jeff Hardy did.
and
Yeah.
and Darby comes in, and every single match he's in is against a major time player, and he gets big wins over them. It's just, to me, I don't see a world where, if the argument was Adam Cole, even though Adam Cole in ring is fucking fantastic in ring without even doing a flip, he's awesome. He's good at what he does, and it's unbelievable for Adam Cole to beat fucking Samoa Joe clean. Kyle O'Reilly should have killed Darby Allin in 13 seconds. In a real life, if we're going realism here, every fight for the most part that Darby Allin has been, and he should have been killed.
Well, in WWE, if we're going realism, Brock
If
Lesnar
we
wins
were-
every match.
Right.
Yeah.
And if we were going realism, Rhea would have never been your first women's title holder. either.
Miro would
She's the
probably
same.
be your champion, and he
Yeah.
just his only child would be Samoa
So
Joe.
I'm just saying, like, in one aspect, people are like,
maybe.
I don't want to
Yeah.
see Adam Cole, but yeah, Darby Allin will be a great, like,
Well, I don't
what?
know. They might be shitting on both of them.
Well, no, but there is a difference in styles there. There is a lot of evasiveness in Darby Allin's style, where Adam Cole is pro wrestler,
Yeah.
doing pro wrestler things. Darby's got that little bit of. There is an advantage in matches against bigger people to where he could get out of the way.
Yeah.
It's like the David and Goliath type thing.
And you also can't have realism and also have Orange Cassidy and Danhausen on the same show.
Sure.
No.
Yeah.
You got to
We
pick
all
one
love
or the other.
Danhausen.
And either one's fine. You can pick one or the other.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But you can't have both. You
Yeah.
can have realism. You
can't
can
be-
have
No,
pure
I think
sport.
there's times and places for everything in wrestling, and I think the comedy and everything deserves to be there. But they're not treating Darby as a comedy act. They're treating him as he's a major time player that can beat anybody on the roster. And to me, I just don't I don't buy into it.
Honestly, I think the only thing that would take him to that next level is turning on Sting.
and putting some weight on.
Yeah. Well, yeah, true.
He needs to
And
put
cutting a promo.
10. Yeah. Well, if
Well,
you just put
the
he's your
promo
manager.
thing. The
Yeah.
promo thing. Like, you know who else can cut a promo to save their lives? Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
He did
Yeah.
pretty well for himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude,
But he had a
honestly,
unique charisma.
when,
so does
when
Darby.
Jeff
Mhm.
when Jeff was solo, I wasn't a huge Jeff guy. I was more of a Hardy Boys fan.
But people loved Jeff.
Yeah.
People love Jeff.
Yeah.
It's a non-tangible thing that like crowds.
He was the
just
Shawn
feel.
Michaels of the tag
because he
team.
was willing to put his body on the line and kill himself for
Yeah.
for an audience.
I think he was also like somebody that was relatable to people who are a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those people are going to rally behind somebody that's like them.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with Darby.
And that's the exact same thing with Darby Allin. That's the comp. That's why they did that match. He's this generation's Jeff Hardy in pretty much every way,
Mhm.
except
He's small.
he's small and straight edge.
Yeah.
Straight edge, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe I just see a guy like Jeff Hardy who decided he was going to do that for audience and for people to love him, and then went down a path of not being a straight edge because he was willing to do that crazy shit.
Well, that's
For an
not.
I don't think that's why Jeff went down that path.
Yeah,
I'm sure it doesn't help.
yeah, but you can't say, oh, everyone does hardcore is a drug addict.
No, not at all.
You
But
know,
I just think it does take its
I
toll.
mean, many guys got addicted to drugs just from regular old school wrestling.
I just see guys who jump off high shit just for a spot, and I'm just like, I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know. It doesn't do it for me. I'm like, Joe, bro, like you
It-
gotta go home to your fucking
it has
wife
its
and
places,
kids.
you know, like don't.
Did you see the death match that's happening in H2O in a few weeks?
I can only imagine.
Matt Tremont versus Effie for the first time ever at H2O.
That's gonna be fucking insane. As long as they keep explosions out, I'm fine.
In that building, I think they're going to keep explosions out. We've been
Well,
in
don't-
H2O.
Don't you think Matt Tremont
The
would
building
say
will blow
no
up.
to
Yeah.
that too now?
What's
Wasn't
that?
he the one in
No.
the burn ward?
Yeah, no, he'll still do that.
He'll
stuff.
still 100% do it.
Some of
Matt
them
Tremont,
guys
yeah.
are just crazy.
Speaking of people that are gonna die, that show that Deppin is wrestling
Mox.
Mox, fucking Masha Slamovich versus Marco
Marco
Stunt.
Stunt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
That should be a 1 minute squash.
and Joey Janela against 72-year-old action Mike Jackson.
Yeah.
If
Janela
Masha,
take care of him.
Oh, yeah.
Masha is
Yeah.
gonna destroy Marco Stunt.
But I don't know the storyline, but that's probably what it is.
Yeah.
Or maybe he likes her or something in the storyline.
Well,
Who
if we're bringing up Tony Deppen, we got to talk about the other wrestling event that he's going to be involved in a month
Well,
or so.
Tony and somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I don't know. I don't think anything's officially announced.
They did
Oh, did they?
announce.
Oh, okay.
Let me go to Pilgaroo Brewing's Facebook page here.
So Pilgaroo is going to be doing they host the Schuylkill County Brew Fest.
It's the
and
third one, I believe, right?
no, I
For
think it's like fourth or fifth now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
No, I'm not sure.
They did like 2 or 3 years here in Frackville, and then this is like the third or second year in Pottsville.
It's definitely the third in Pottsville.
Yeah. They did a bunch of them here in Frackville
Oh,
before.
I was not aware.
Yeah. But they're going to add professional wrestling to the Duck.
Mhm.
So,
It is downtown Pottsville, and it's Center Street, right?
yeah. So they're going to
Yeah,
be
I'm trying to
putting
find the exact post they made
a
about it.
wrestling ring in the center of
Somewhere
in the middle of
to
Pottsville,
be determined.
which is sick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be excited.
Oh my god, yeah.
Dude, professional wrestling, you're gonna wrestle in the middle of the street.
Yeah, how about that?
That's
It hasn't, and nothing like that has been done. There was a boxing event in front of the city hall, maybe 15 years ago, 20 years ago, something like that. And that's the only time anything like that's remotely happened.
Have you ever wrestled in the middle of the street?
No.
Well,
No.
you're gonna be able to
Yeah.
because you are listed as well as Tony Depp, and we don't know who's wrestling who.
I can't for the life of me find the. They did make a post about it, so we're not like blowing up anybody's spot.
There's a handful of people involved. I don't
Okay.
know them off the top of my head, but they're gonna have a couple matches during School County Brew
Yeah,
Fest.
how about that? Should be fun.
There is
July 30th.
July 30th. There are some. If they're available, they're probably gone for VIP. So they usually have like an hour early that people can go in and get and try the stuff early.
But I don't think there's any like special VIP thing for the wrestling.
No, not at all.
No,
but
I would assume the ring's just outside and come
listen,
watch if you want.
try some amazing beer. Food trucks there are always top notch and fantastic, and we get professional wrestling.
You do have to buy a ticket to get into the event because it's like gated. The whole street's gated off. I don't know what the price is.
Yeah, it's like
We'll
live
find
pro
out.
wrestling throughout the day. It's the only thing that's here.
So maybe we'll wrestle more than once.
Yeah,
sounds like
it's gonna be.
It all
it's gonna be-
depends.
We've been hinting and teasing them for a while. Like, when are you gonna add wrestling to this? When are
Oh,
you gonna
here
add wrestling
it
to
is. I found it. So, a few people we know here. We probably it's like new for 2022.
Oh, Big Dan's involved.
Yeah, we probably present Battle on Center Street, a live pro wrestling event featuring Tony Deppen, Dan Champion, Big Dan,
There we go.
Andy Header,
Oh yeah.
Adam Zane, and more TBA.
Adam Zane is from Pittsburgh, and he's a wrestler as well as a brewer as well.
Oh, okay.
very
So he's
cool.
always been the whole last.
Oh, you've got to be the. It's because I said
Yeah, I
Adam,
gotta ruin the party.
we can go two ways here. Either it's in Pottsville and he's the Pottsville native son, or it's the I hate beer. Why are you
Yeah.
doing this? Everybody go home and drink soda.
That's the
Alcohol is
perfect
awful.
place for that.
Yeah.
That was CM Punk's ROH gimmick.
Come out with your fist tape with the X's.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be a great time. Yeah, but Zane, he actually is a brewer. He's been actually joking the whole last brew fest that he's gonna call Tony Deppen out as
Oh yeah, I remember him.
who
Yeah.
the number one brewer / wrestler
Yes, I
is.
remember him. Yes.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a good time. So come out, hang out at
I
Brewfest.
should have a flag match. Just have his brewery and then Pilgaroos and have a flag match.
A crowler on a pole match.
No polls.
Yeah. No, not
Prowler
downtown.
on a pole.
They're not allowed downtown Pottsville.
Can't
Yeah.
do it on like a street light.
Yeah.
Use the venue.
Yeah. You have to pin your opponent and finish your beer before the end of the match. I've seen Tony Deppen wrestle at breweries.
Instead of if it's possible, instead of a casket match, it could be a pothole match.
Oh,
You can just
Oh.
shove your opponent in a pothole, and that's how you win.
Yeah. Or what do they do in AEW with the vat of orange juice on the side? You can do
Mimosa Mayhem.
a kiddie pool versus full of
No, you
Yingling
fill
or
the
something.
pothole full of beer, and then you throw them in the pothole full of beer.
Well, we want them to come back out.
Yeah.
Some of those potholes
We have to have a lifeguard
we
on
don't
duty.
know.
are deep.
Yeah.
Man.
No,
They have a
they go to
lifeguard.
the center of the
They
earth.
just die.
Yeah. But yeah, so if you want to come drink some cool beers and watch professional wrestling, that is your day.
That's the ways out. It's
More
July
to-
30th, I believe.
Yeah, more to come when we know.
Go to schoolcountybrewfest.com.
I don't know if they have a website.
Yeah, they do. I think they have a website.
I think it's a long. If you look on Facebook, it's 2022 Schuylkill County Brewfest is the event.
Go follow them and buy
Or
some
Pilgaroo
tickets.
Brewing. Just look
Yeah.
up Pilgaroo Brewing, you'll find out.
The place to buy tickets is a really long address, so just go to Pilgrim Review Brewing
Yeah.
on Facebook.
And I will definitely be there. I already have my VIP ticket, so
Ooh.
I'll be there drinking beers. Last year I was really
Now the event is 2 to 5:30, rain or shine.
Yeah.
So it is an earlier event on Saturday, July 30th.
wrestling in the rain.
Yes,
in the middle of the
so-
street.
Oh, even better.
So
There's-
it's possible you could go to that show and then go to another show, or go to the Beer Fest itself.
Yeah. There you go. Anything else?
I believe that's all the news I have, unless I missed something.
They said Thunder
Apollo
Rosa.
Crews is back in
Yeah,
NXT.
Did we say that on the show?
I don't believe so. I think it was before the show.
Oh yeah, which is very good.
And he no longer has his accent.
Yeah, he's a very good wrestler. So why not
Immediately
use him?
kind of back in the main event scene too.
Yeah,
Which
Braun Breaker
probably
was calling
should
people
be.
out.
Which is not bad for people to go down and help out
No.
the NXT
Yeah,
people.
I even noticed that on commentary, Vic Joseph kind of alluded to. I don't know what he said specifically, but he was talking to Barrett and said, "Hey, you're gonna see people up and down
Yeah.
on Raw, on SmackDown,
I mean,
on
it's a good
NXT."
move.
If they come for you and say, "We have nothing for you," can I go to NXT? Sure. Okay.
We'll get Mandy Rose.
Yeah. Or do you want to be in NXT or 24/7? I'll go to
Or main
NXT.
event. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'll never be as good as it was before, ever.
No.
That's dead and gone. It'll never be a half as good as
Yeah.
it was before.
Just be happy
Subjectively
we
good.
be happy we had it in our
We
lives.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Just
but it
completely
seems like they
remove-
are slowly getting to an okay level.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, they brought in a bunch of new talent all at once. Obviously, audiences are not going to react to that right away.
Especially when they're not very good.
Yeah,
They're wrestling
that's
each
the
other.
problem.
It's a lot of people who are wrestling for the first time.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think,
which shouldn't be done on the USA Network.
I think a lot of them are trying to maybe work on their character development before they're
Yeah.
working on the wrestling.
Yeah.
When it happens.
There are some clear standouts. Like
Yeah.
Carmelo Hayes is a standout. Him and Trick Williams.
that girl I was saying last week,
Tiffany
the
Stratton.
gymnast. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
who just lost the finals of the women's breakout tournament to I always give her real name, Roxanne Perez.
Is that the
Uh,
redhead?
No, that's
formerly
Alba Fire.
Roxy from Ring of Honor.
I
She
think
was-
Gigi Dolan.
Yeah, I'm thinking Gigi.
Oh, no, she has orange hair. You're probably thinking of
Yeah, that's
Alba Fire, formerly Kaylee Ray.
I don't like her gear now.
That's a stupid name.
Al-
I do
Alba Fire.
not like her gear.
Well, they had to take anybody's name that had part of their real name
and
in
change it.
and change it. Yeah.
Because they have to have a copyright. They're back to that now.
yeah.
Alright,
well,
she
so
was-
we are
her
at
name
the
was Priscilla Kelly.
coming up to the
point.
45-minute
Yeah.
mark. Let's get into
Like Casey Catanzaro is now Katana Chance. So she's been Casey Catanzaro there for 3 years.
yeah.
And now she's Katana Chance.
That's a stupid name.
I'll tell you what. Even though her gimmick is silly and goofy, the lady who falls asleep all the time,
Wendy.
Oh,
Chu.
Wendy Chu.
she's decent in the ring.
oh,
I haven't seen wrestlers. So I
they
can't
also revealed who Giovanni Vinci.
Yeah, and it was Fabian Eichner. Who used
Does
to be
she
here.
Does she wrestle in her pajamas?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
In footy pajamas.
And her
In
whole gimmick
footy
is
pajamas.
like
Yeah, she's
basically
killing it.
she's always she does a splash off the top rope, but in the air she'll do the I'm sleeping motion.
It's awesome.
It's like an elbow drop sometimes.
Yeah, it's great.
But you think if you're so tired, why didn't you sleep before the match?
I think
knew
it's
the
supposed to
match
be like
was
a
coming.
drunken master kung fu thing,
Oh, where
almost
she
like
can't-
Orange Cassidy, where she's psyching
yeah.
people
You
out.
can't control. She has narcolepsy.
She's not narcoleptic.
No, where she just doesn't care enough that she's willing to sleep during your match. But
Well,
when she has to turn it on, she
Wouldn't
can.
you fire a person like that?
Sure.
Yeah, that is an interesting role
Orange,
model.
Yeah,
Orange
yeah.
Cassidy is so.
Who's the guy that runs NXT now? Like, is there a storyline?
Orange Cassidy's so.
I don't
cool,
think
he
there's a
doesn't care.
storyline like authority figure in
Yeah.
NXT.
Yeah.
I mean, falling asleep on the job, fireable offense.
Yeah.
I don't,
She's fun though. She's fun. To
I don't know
watch.
how you.
But here's the
Give
big
it-
question: how much does she weigh?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're gonna find
Oh,
out here at King
There's
of
a
the Ring.
segue for you.
We're gonna find out.
That's why I'm at the head of the table.
We're gonna find out those questions and many more here when we get into our main topic, King of the Ring, 1994. Run us down this, Brian.
Yeah.
Where are we at? What?
1 year before the really bad one, so that's good.
Yeah.
Oh,
We had
Yeah.
two,
First two.
oh no,
two good ones, and then we took a nosedive
this
there.
wasn't
90.
great. This wasn't very good.
Yeah. This was entertaining
It was
for a King of the Ring. It was fine.
It was.
It's an okay representative for Baltimore.
I mean, there was good matches. There was bad matches.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I didn't watch it. Go. Ugh.
Dude,
Yeah,
you
it
know
wasn't
who-
awful.
You know who's
It
a
wasn't
fu-
95.
I have an unsing workhorse in this tournament that people are probably
Oh,
like,
God,
he
I know-
shouldn't have been in the tournament.
I know what you're gonna say. And
Who?
IRS.
Yeah, he fucking killed
IRS
it.
was awful.
IRS can move. I'll give him that. He can move.
Dude, he bumps. He works his ass off.
He can bump.
That had
That
not-
is the guy you came out of saying he's really good, and
I
not
just-
the 1, 2, 3 kid.
No,
Yeah.
everyone in the
Even
tournament.
Jeff Jarrett?
Like growing up, I remember there was something about IRS I always like it. Like besides just his character, I was like, oh, I think IRS is entertaining even as a kid because he was a gimmick. But like going back and watching now, like
See, when I was
first
a
off,
kid, I didn't know what taxes were.
Yeah, as me and Brian were saying on the way up, I had no idea. I was
no,
like, I don't get it.
I didn't know the idea what taxes.
I didn't know what a pallbearer was.
Yeah, but
I just thought IRS was an angry guy in like a suit.
Yeah, like a teacher.
but that gear
Yeah.
had
That
to
came
not-
later.
Had to
That
not
didn't last
be
long.
easy to wrestle in.
I couldn't
And by
He
imagine.
the-
looks like a businessman.
And
Yeah.
towards the end of the match, his white shirt is pretty much see through.
He was always sweaty, like just
Yeah.
drenched in sweat.
Well, so are like Bo and Bray. They're
He just
usually
he goes a
Well,
thousand
can you
miles a minute.
imagine wrestling in one of those dress shirts?
yeah.
And
Can you?
suspenders.
Ugh.
Can
Yeah.
you? I mean, that
slacks.
doesn't breathe, you know.
well, they do make dress pants that are like flexible.
Did they
Yeah,
make
that
it in
I could see.
1994 though?
No.
That's a
No.
great question.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know what like theater
for what
costume
he was wearing, he worked his
Oh, they were
fucking
getting theater. They were going to Sears and buying
Yeah.
that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
For what he was wearing, he worked his ass off. I wonder how many times he actually maybe split pants while he
Oh,
worked.
Oh, probably a
Because
bunch.
he didn't go in there and just like he didn't phone it in.
He could move really well, and he did take bumps really well. But like,
He worked the crowd well too.
Oh no, he
Ah,
didn't.
no.
No, he didn't.
no.
I thought he did. Like, look,
Shut up, you tax cheats.
I mean,
With about that much charisma.
yeah. I mean,
You're
listen,
a bunch of tax cheating tax cheats who cheat on your taxes.
He shouldn't have a bunch of charisma. He's a tax man.
No,
Do you want him to be Mr. Personality?
all wrestlers should have charisma.
I don't know. The character itself is tough to get over.
Unless your whole gimmick is you don't have charisma.
Yeah, and
like
Lance
Lance
Storm.
Storm,
Yeah.
I mean, that wasn't very good either.
No.
But let's get through this pay-per-view first.
All right, so we're live from Baltimore, Maryland here. The Coliseum video version. They do have some Coliseum video
Mhm.
exclusives. A lot of these backstage things I don't think were on the pay-per-view, including the first one.
And the last one, I think.
Yeah, with Jarrett, Bam Bam Bigelow, IRS, and Owen Hart fighting over who's going to win and putting their names on the big board. A thing that's going to be important to mention throughout the show, one of the rare pay-per-views in the history of WWF or WWE, no Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon was not in the building that night.
I wonder where he was.
Pat Patterson and Bruce Pritchard were running the show. He was undergoing neck surgery.
Oh, Jesus.
He was also on trial.
Oh,
so
that time. Okay.
This is at the height of this. This is when he was actually on trial for steroid distribution.
Well, you know.
And he got his neck surgery done because that way he looked sympathetic in the courtroom with a neck brace.
Of course.
So McDevitt knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Obviously, Vince got off.
Working.
I mean, it was that. It was
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, maybe it was Alpha and Sika sitting in the courtroom looking at the jurors and mouthing not guilty.
Yeah,
it was a lot of things. So no Vince on the show, and for the opening, the lead singer of Blackfoot, Ricky Medlock, sings the national anthem.
I was like,
saw that. I was like, what?
who?
Apparently they just saw him across the street, and I guess Blackfoot was like a big Southern rock band or something.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
And they're like, well, it sounded good in the sound check, and then he went on live, and it was like, oh,
Yeah.
What was a Blackfoot hit? I don't know.
I can't name my.
That's not Black Betty. Like, whoa, Black
That
Betty.
was Ram Jam.
That was
Jam.
Ram Jam.
Okay.
Right.
They just inspired Randy Robinson's finishing move.
Blackfoot. Yeah, they're like, it's singer from Blackfoot, and the crowd's like,
Who?
yeah, I guess. There was one guy though. Then the camera's on him. He was so proud of his live hat. Remember that band Live?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And he also had a Fred Flintstone shirt on. So if you watch pay-per-view, they cut to him because he's like,
Live was local. They're from like York or something.
yeah.
They're from not too far from here.
Train was one of their songs.
No idea what that is.
Train.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very
And
similar.
Highway
Okay.
song.
Anyway,
This happened on Father's Day.
Train was
1994.
there. There you go. Sam said it.
Sam said it there.
Father's Day 1994. And Gorilla Monsoon opens up by introducing our announced team of Gorilla Monsoon, Macho Man Randy Savage, and Art O'Donnell.
Art O'Donnell is the
O'Donnell.
goat.
Art O'Donnell.
no, not Art O'Donnell. Art Donovan.
Art
Well,
Donovan.
Gorilla
first-
said Art O'Donnell.
He says Art O'Donnell.
Which is a clear indication of how this is gonna go.
Yeah,
Because
I
they
think
didn't know
he
who
butchers
Art
the name
Donovan was, and
twice.
Art Donovan didn't know who any of them were.
It just goes to show when you go to a wrestling show and they're just like, hey, we could put anybody on commentary here.
No.
This is what happens.
Yeah.
This is what happens. Even WWF has made this mistake.
So yeah, Art Donovan was very much a local celebrity in Baltimore. He played for the Baltimore Colts. He was kind of a man about town. He was on the Late Night with David Letterman, just known as a quirky guy.
Oh,
Which doesn't make you a good wrestling announcer.
No.
You should probably know at least a little bit about wrestling.
no, you don't need to know shit.
So
Maybe like wrestling
Just
or have
ask,
seen
just,
it.
just instead of calling what you see, just ask questions the whole show.
but they didn't do a whole lot to smarten him up either, because I think the only direction they gave Art Donovan was just make sure you say you pick Razor Ramon to
Yeah.
win the tournament. That's all I want you to do.
Is this my guy?
I think is that the one I picked?
Is that Razor? Like you didn't even know Razor Ramon, just Razor. I picked Razor.
Razor. Is that accent?
Oh my god, it's
It was
so bad. It's good.
Yeah. It to me it was like
After a
cringeworthy at
certain point, I'm like,
times.
please take this guy.
Yes.
Oh, if
get it.
Vince
That's
was
what I
there,
thought. I was thinking, why did they not take him
because Vince
off?
wasn't there.
Yeah.
If Vince was there listening to the commentary, he would have been yanked after the IRS made
Yeah,
it.
because Vince is very. Excuse me. Oh my God, Robin. Kelly. I'm blaming on Kelly since there's no Robin. If Vince was there, yeah, he would have been gone because he's so into commentary and telling you what to say. Even though Gorilla, we'll get to it, had a lot of Vinceisms.
Yeah.
And because it makes me think of that one night that they did it was after Rollins cashed in at WrestleMania and Brock lost the title, and they had Brock come out and he just beat up Michael Cole and he beat up I forget the other announcer. I think it was like Cole and was it Lawler or whoever it was, and he beat them up. Might have been Booker T. And they had both announcers do a stretcher job because Brock just flipped and beat them all up, and then they had Byron Saxton calling the show himself the night after WrestleMania, and he was so bad after an hour that they sent like somebody. I think they sent like Tom Phillips or somebody out to call a show with him.
Yeah. Calling a show by yourself is not fucking
That
easy.
is hard, yeah. Joey
That's
Styles.
yeah.
Joey Styles, Pete DeLong are probably the only two that I will listen to.
To this day, Joey Styles is the only person who's called a major pay-per-view solo.
Yeah.
That's not easy.
No.
And after the first time, they didn't let him do it again. He did a good job though, but they always had him have a color
Not
commentator.
fucking easy to do.
So Savage, he picks Diesel to beat Brett for the WWF title later in the night.
Good pick.
No, it wasn't. Brett kept the title.
But he won.
Doesn't matter. He said
they always say
he
at
said
the
new
title
champion.
can't change hands.
If it was a pick'em, Diesel walked out as a winner.
So your opening match in the King of the Ring tournament is Razor Ramon against the runner-up of the 1993 tournament, Bam Bam Bigelow. Razor Ramon gets a huge pop. That guy. Just you look at, he's like, that's a star, right?
Yeah.
there. That guy is a star.
Oozes star.
Yeah.
There's a old lady that I kept watching in the crowd whose camera view to the right of
What
like,
a
the
horrible
aisle.
thing to say about Andy's mom. She was
Yeah.
much younger back then.
And she's just this little old lady with
glasses,
big hair
yeah.
and the glasses, and she loved herself some Razor Ramon.
She was like a 1980s NWA fan.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
in her mind.
just
A
like-
stunt granny. She was a stunt granny.
So good.
Honestly, didn't pick up anything on the crowd because I was too focused. I was trying to focus on the match, but couldn't focus on anything other than commentary.
Scott Hall was just so good.
Yeah.
And
It was just
listen,
so-
let's not
I don't know what.
let's not pull punches.
I'm
Bam
sure if
Bam
he would've-
Bigelow was killing stuff.
Bam
up.
Bam
Bam
Bigelow
Bam's
is
great.
very good, and this was a good singles match. You see him, he moved around great.
He
and everything.
jumped from the apron on the outside to the top rope and did a splash, like a
Yeah.
back, like he,
Bam Bam's whole thing back when he was super green was you do cartwheels.
Yeah.
so crazy good.
And then his Bam Bam moonsault, which is kind of like where you don't do it. Phone when you kind of like go to the side,
Yeah.
but still, yeah, for being I think his heaviest he was like 350, something like that.
So good.
And I think it's this first match is where Savage is like making references to other sports and like almost trying to get Donovan into the
Into it,
commentary.
yeah.
And it's just not happening.
Well,
and they
no,
should have
it-
pulled the plug after
It
that.
worked because Donovan then said, "Oh, the only thing I'll latch onto is assimilating this in football all night
Yeah.
long."
Yeah. So they go over who people beat in the qualifying matches. You had to win a qualifying match to get in the King of the Ring. And they said that Razor had to beat, and I quote, the very dangerous Quang.
Oh yeah, they did.
They
The
really
very
built him
dangerous
up
Quang.
Oh.
to an unknown like audience. If you're watching that for the first time, you're like, oh man, who's Quang?
Yeah. You look
He
him up
was
like,
a
oh.
Japanese ninja with a mask because he wasn't Japanese.
and had a
Puerto
green
Rican.
tongue.
And he would spray green mist. You would have loved him. He sprayed the
Oh,
mist.
yeah. If he had missed, he
And
was-
then they unmasked him and he wrestled
had
4
mist.
times the next year.
Yeah,
who was he? Who was he? on that?
Savio Vega.
Oh, okay, yeah.
he is also in the 32X version of Raw.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a-
Well,
a
going
character
back
on
to the
for that.
commentary thing, and I'm not gonna sit
Oh,
here
I have some artisms here. Like,
and just say
and a very
I'm
good
not,
Savage line.
I'm not a professional by all means. I have done commentary a couple times, but it's definitely something that people think is easier than it is, and then
Mhm.
you sit down and you're like, oh fuck, and like you can clam up. Especially if you have a multiple person booth, or if you're like, or I could just see like Art Donovan just like, I have no fucking idea what I'm doing, and then you just kind of take that one thing that someone gives you, like, oh, okay, that's gonna be my role here,
Yeah.
and he just leaned on it heavy.
And it doesn't help that he's also older.
Oh yeah,
So like he's
Yeah.
and doesn't know the product.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he can't
Yeah.
grasp on to
It-
anything.
he should have done some research on the product.
I
or
don't think he
something
even knew
beforehand.
wrestling.
I don't even. I will be fucking shocked if he was given more than a couple days or week notice to even
Yeah.
tell he was
Oh.
going to do commentary. I don't think they were like, "Hey, in 6 months you're going to do commentary for King of the Ring." I think this was thrown together quick.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah.
No. So and then Bam Bam, he had to beat Sparky Thurman Plug. STP, get it?
yeah,
Yeah. Get into the oil because he's a race car driver.
yeah.
This is very much the era where wrestlers had side jobs.
Yeah, because
Which-
wrestling
which
wasn't
give-
paying
yeah.
the bills.
Yeah.
Given how
worked
bad
him.
a shape WWE was in at
Yeah.
this point, I don't blame them for having side
Yeah.
jobs. Because this place could have gotten out of business around this time very easily.
Oh yeah, and this is where they were pushing that it's the new
New generation.
New
Yes,
generation.
thank you.
How many-
Yeah.
That
The
was
new
another
generation.
thing.
The new generation. Thank you.
It should have been take a sip of beer every time he asks how much does he weigh, and then the new generation
Because-
should have been 2 shots.
How much
Because
does
this is-
guy
This
weigh?
is June
Rick the
1994, and at this point, everybody knows Hulk Hogan's going to WCW.
Yeah.
That's why we're pushing the new generation.
And the new generation was 2 guys who are way beyond the new generation tagline, and that was your main event.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah, so Bam Bam, both these guys super athletic for their size, big guys and super athletic. Bam Bam with a lot of headbutts, including missing the diving headbutt.
Yeah, that was kind of his thing. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
The only thing that looked a little janky was the bulldog. When Razor did the bulldog,
Yeah.
it almost looked like that Jackie Gator one where he comes down and then Bam Bam falls like a second
Yeah.
later.
Yeah.
It wasn't as bad as a Jackie Gator one. And then Luna Vachon is still in Bam Bam's corner, though.
Love it.
I think Luna's
Yep.
wrapping up around this point because that summer is when they start doing the $1 Million Corporation, and Bam Bam and IRS and Tatanka turns heel, and a lot of them are with DiBiase. So Luna is toward the end of her run here,
Tatanka, Big Damo's favorite wrestler growing up.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
and Art Donovan looks at Luna and goes, what's that girl over there screaming at?
Yeah.
And I talk about her cheering on Bam Bam, and Gorilla says something about the weddings coming up, and Savage
That's Bam Bam's
Yeah.
main squeeze.
Yeah.
Main squeeze.
and then Savage has a great line like, I don't do weddings.
Yeah.
Amazing line, because he is in the midst of a divorce at this point.
Yeah.
Or just post divorce at this point.
And he did a real wedding. He did his wedding on TV already.
Well, he had already, by the
Yeah.
time that wedding happened on TV, they were starting to break up.
They were
Yeah.
in the midst of the divorce during
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I have all the quotes here. That's
Yeah.
the guy for every single match.
Long backbreaker by Bigelow. Art goes, what's he gonna do? Throw him out of the ring? Is he dead? Yeah, later, because he's just in the backbreaker for a long time. He's like, Gorilla, is he dead?
After Bam Bam hits the Enziguri, when you do that kind of work with the feet, can you hit him? What? Shut the fuck up.
I'm gonna incorporate is he dead?
Yeah, Gorilla,
This
is he
Sat-
dead?
this Saturday.
Just
Yes.
ask Paul Bowe how much everybody weighs, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul, if you're listening, I'm gonna ask you some stupid shit on Saturday.
Yeah, the one part of the match that was lame was I just seen it here when Bam Bam put him in the torture rack. Don't call it the Rebel rack because that's Lex's finisher.
Yeah.
It's kind of a little lame.
Is
Yeah. So if you buy this Saturday's pay-per-view on Fight TV, I will
When-
squeeze in is he dead somewhere.
when Joe Davis comes out, is this one of the wrestlers? He looks like a businessman.
Yeah. Joe Davis, is he dead?
So Bigelow slams Razor, goes to the top, but Razor pops up, throws Bigelow off with a power bomb for the 3.
Mhm.
Razor Ramon moves on to the second round of the tournament. And then IRS and Mabel are backstage. IRS wants to Tonka in the finals. This is a promo. He really stumbled over the backstage promo. He kind of tripped over his words a little bit. And then they do a promo with Mabel's right there too. And he says he should be worried about the M to the A to the BEL. Again, gangster rap is at its
height.
Yeah.
peak in 1994. And this is WWE's
Yeah,
rappers.
they're still about 5 years behind.
The
This promo's
gangsters are like
still-
running roughshod through Smoky Mountain.
Yeah.
They were still doing the whoop. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're there.
This
They're doing
promo's-
whoop, there it is. And New Jack is in Smoky Mountain saying, shout out to my boy OJ Simpson. Too less to worry about. Keep up the good work.
This promo stood out
Big
for me because
contrast.
it made me like actually notice Mabel. I've never sat down and watched like a Big
Oh, I
Daddy.
saw Mabel.
I've never
I saw
like,
Mabel at the next King of the Ring twice.
I've never sat down and like listened to like I don't know if anyone has a Big Daddy V promo or a Mabel promo, but like even in his in-ring, like in that match, I actually like noticed and I was like paying attention to, oh, he's not that bad. Unlike the Big Daddy
I want to see
V.
somebody who's that bad. Who do you think is that bad?
Well, no, like Big Daddy V, the memory I have of him
Whoa.
is just him laying on people.
Well, he was a lot older at that point.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
slow. Yeah,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that wasn't bad. He was still getting
he
reactions.
could move.
So they also say that Mabel also says he has a personal grudge against IRS. Why?
Yeah.
Well, I don't
No
remember this.
Did
backstory.
he take your tax? Did he?
Are you a tax cheat?
Yeah,
Mabel?
yeah.
Are you evading taxes?
Should have paid your taxes.
Yeah, this is the match.
And then
Was a stinker
It
for
wasn't.
me.
yeah, and then Mabel's like, with much respect to real Ramon, I'm the real bad guy.
I
That
guess-
came next year.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't that bad for like a Raw match, but not a
Yeah.
pay per view
Yeah.
match.
Yeah.
But,
And
like,
that's the
what was
problem with
that?
these tournaments. These tournaments, you have to squeeze in so many matches unless there's like a double DQ or something,
Yep.
and then somebody gets a bye.
I understand why they don't do it this way anymore, but boy, did I enjoy watching the guy have to work like 3 or 4 times and like,
Yeah.
is he
for
able
him.
to go the
Yeah.
next
Yeah.
one?
But I mean,
Like
you,
1, 2, 3 kid in
Yeah.
this.
you have people that could work that could do that. Like
Yeah.
Mr. Perfect could easily
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
that. And
Like-
the guys
like
now,
they did it right the
Guys
first
now
time.
could absolutely.
They did it right the 1993 King of the Ring, the first one. You had Bret Hart wrestle 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what you do. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Not Savio Vega wrestling 4 times.
Yeah, play
I'm
to the
not
strengths
over
of the wrestler.
1995.
Now, here's a question, maybe like an inside baseball question. If you're booked for King of the Ring, do you get paid per match or you get paid for the show?
probably get paid for the show. Unless you're a name. That
If you're
maybe get a little bit
going
more.
far though, your payout's probably going to be higher
Yeah.
because you'll get paid based on your spot on the card back then.
Yeah.
And the King of the Ring finals is either going to be there.
Like if you're
your main
working
event or close
three
to it.
times a night, are you getting paid for
Well,
three
they were,
matches?
but they're
No,
not
usually
getting paid
no.
per match.
Yeah.
They're not getting paid.
Well,
per
they're
match.
also not getting paid per hour.
You're getting paid for the show. So like,
Yeah.
was Razor paid any more for this than the next pay per view? Probably not.
Like, did Razor get more of a pay than
Than
fucking-
normal. No.
than
probably
one
not.
guy who only
Well,
worked
no,
one
I
match?
could see that though because
Razor probably got paid more than like Mabel.
if you
Yeah.
look at it like a TV show and not wrestling, oh no. if you have like a star, not necessarily like your star actor, but the person who's putting on the most screen time, do they get paid more? Probably.
I would say
Yeah.
you're putting actual physical work in more than.
But you are, but I mean, that's that old school wrestling.
would
I
just-
paid you to come.
But you're also driving
You know?
the story.
Yeah.
Like you physically have to be there, not just working. The story doesn't continue without
The way
you.
their deals used to work back then, they just paid you what you, unless you had a special thing in your
So,
contract, they just paid you what you thought you were.
You're an independent contractor who you have to make your own money because you're an independent contractor.
Mhm.
But if you say you're an independent contractor and you as an independent contractor are working 3 times that night,
Yeah.
well, you're working under my show, and if I like, I can just get this guy who's going to do it for less money, or you need me more than I need you type deal,
Yeah.
which throws your whole independent contractor term right out the window.
Because the only show in history of WWE that we have the actual payoff source, SummerSlam '91, because they're a part of a lawsuit.
Oh, really?
Ultimate Warrior was suing because I guess he had a deal where he had to make as much as Hogan, and he wanted to sue to prove he wasn't.
Wow, I did not know that. So that's the only show that legally they have the
Legally, they have the payoff sheet
Yeah.
for SummerSlam
Wow.
1990.
Yeah, Jim Ross explained how they would do payouts. It's very complicated.
Yeah, it
like
was
the
based on the
fee-
house,
yeah.
and with pay-per-views, you would get a percentage of the buys, and yeah, there was a formula.
Yeah.
Like if you're in the main event, you got this much. If you were in the semi-main, you got this much. If you were in the opener, you got this much. So
But-
maybe they did get paid more. If
Yeah.
they were in
No,
the,
that is a good question.
I
Yeah.
usually, but I think usually, like if I wrestle twice, I ain't getting anything extra than if I just wrestle once.
It's
Right.
crazy.
And like even if like you go out there and you do a 2-minute job, you know, and but you're a name
You're
guy,
getting paid your rate.
you're getting paid whatever you would get if you did 28 minutes.
So if you went to a show, and maybe if you don't want to answer this, you don't have to.
Yeah.
But like if you go to a show and they're like, "Hey,"
And there's a tournament and I wrestle 3-4 times.
yeah,
I'm not getting anything else probably.
you wouldn't be like, "Hey, can you throw me an extra couple of fucking?"
well, that's something you would negotiate before the fact.
Yeah.
Or if you show up and like, "Andy, somebody backed out. Can you wrestle another time tonight?"
Yeah, usually won't get anything extra. For that.
Ooh, that's crazy. All right,
I mean, maybe some people like, hey, thanks for doing that. Here's a little something extra, but
go
Or
over
if
there.
anything, it's
Probably
more of
not.
like a
Go grab a soda over. there.
yeah,
if anything, it's like you're welcome for the extra exposure.
yeah.
That's what I was just gonna say. And then
Mhm.
sometimes you're like Austin just said, you're grateful that you're on the show,
Yeah.
and then you got to wrestle twice in front of fans.
Someone will notice.
And some
that.
indies are grateful for getting any money at all. So
Yes.
Very, very true. All right.
It's for the love of the game.
So when
Like
Mabel
the
comes out, he
baseball.
comes out in this like jumpsuit type thing, and Art says,
Oh, shit, we have to talk about this match.
"Is this the way he's going to
quick.
wrestle with all his clothes on?"
Yeah.
And then I think his girl says, "Oh no, he takes all that off, Art."
okay, good.
Naked Mabel.
I mean, you get that almost like years later.
How
Yeah.
much does that guy weigh?
Oh, that comes up and it's like 500 pounds, and then Art says, "That's not fair. The other guy only weighs half that amount." And the guy weighs half that amount. Won.
Yeah.
So for the qualifying matches here, IRS beat Scott Steiner, who was on his way out of the company.
Oh, I was gonna say, why didn't Scott
Yeah.
Steiner advance?
Because it was a very bad breakup too. The Steiner brothers were leaving,
Yeah.
and then Mabel beat Pierre. Boo!
Oh, bullshit.
If
Yeah.
PCO was, it would have been much better. My
Yeah.
Oh,
God.
Scott Steiner against PCO would have been a million times better than this. I'd rather watch Scott Steiner against PCO now
Yeah.
than IRS against Mabel in 1994.
Dude, PCO at that show last Sunday was crazy.
Totally.
Moonsaulting off the top.
He doesn't fucking. You would
At
not
his
think.
age.
Yeah,
Holy
he's
Yeah. it was
He's a-
Cannonball to the outside.
No
You know, he was
balls.
nice enough to stop for everybody who stopped him, get a picture, talk a little
he's
bit.
fantastic.
PCO is a class act.
Did you see the most recent video he did where he had to bend the drill bit?
I know he's trying
Yeah.
to break a lot of like world records and stuff.
Dude,
Yeah.
You know, he's killing TikTok.
They spray a drill bit with
Mhm.
WD-40 and drill it in just to make sure like it's
Yeah, so
real.
show it's real. Yeah.
And then he takes a drill bit and he puts like a rag in his mouth so he can dent it. And right before he puts the rag in his mouth, the guy puts the jing and he just opens his mouth and takes a mouthful of WD-40
Oh, God.
and then bends the drill bit.
Ugh,
Oh, he's not
Destro.
human.
Dude,
PCO is
if you want a good follow on social media,
He used to post every Monday night.
he posts on Facebook, he's on Twitter, and he's on TikTok.
Yeah.
Go follow PCO.
Mhm.
It's super entertaining.
yeah, and it's such a good guy.
He's awesome.
Such a good guy. So Art is talking about who's the guy in the white suit talking about Oscar who wrapped Mabel to the ring as manager. Like that's Oscar's manager. Like I thought he was there to take the guy to the hospital.
Yeah, no, now he's starting to take liberties. He's starting to get more comfortable and he's trying to crack jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is where Vince was like, get him off. Get him off.
Tell
Mid
him-
match, they would have yanked him.
Yeah.
Mid match, so, like they would have sent Tony Greer or somebody out there to tap Art and show, like, come back.
Stop going into
You're gonna get-
business for yourself.
Art, you're gonna get paid.
It's
but
funny they didn't send somebody out.
Yeah.
to-
if Vince was there, they would have.
yeah.
yeah, and I
Vince
guess
would have
in-
went out himself.
Yeah, in that situation, they were probably like, it's not our call to remove this guy.
Awesome.
So the slow match, kind of plodding. Mabel couldn't really move around that fast. Mabel goes to the second rope, but IRS pops up, shakes the ropes, and then pins Mabel. The same exact finish as the first match, where a guy goes to the ropes, but it doesn't pay off, and he gets pinned. Same finish for 2 matches. Backstage, Mr. Fuji and Jim Cornette hype up crushing Yokozuna in a Coliseum video exclusive. The cameraman falls down as they chase him out. And then our next match is going to be Owen Hart against Tatanka.
Fun match.
But
Good enough.
not just any Tatanka. Native American Tatanka.
As opposed to
as opposed to the Pakistani Tatanka, Irishman Tatanka. But if you don't know that, Gorilla Monsoon will tell you 15 to 20 times.
Native American.
Native American Tatanka going for a headlock now. Native American Tatanka off the ropes. That's a Vinceism. Just fucking say Tatanka.
Yep.
We know.
Yep.
And this is toward the end of Tatanka's babyface run because shortly after this is like we said earlier, where DiBiase's forming the $1 Million Corporation. I think he bought the show given the lighting. But I think it's my last lighting joke.
Take another drink, people.
But there was this whole thing where DiBiase was saying, I bought Lex Luger. I bought the all-American hero Lex Luger. And Tatanka's like, why, Lex? Why would you do that? Why would you turn on us? And you can see it coming a mile away.
Yeah.
You can see what's happening. And so at SummerSlam, which is the next pay-per-view, they do Lex Luger against Tatanka. And Tatanka is the one that sold out, not Lex Luger. I can't believe it.
Yeah. You'll never believe it.
Because at that point, it was IRS, it was Bam Bam, it was Tatanka, it was Nikolai Volkov.
Yeah.
It was IRS.
A lot of the guys that were on the way
and
wrapping up their careers, guys.
The Undertaker, because DiBiase brought him in as his mystery partner. He brought him back.
Yeah, gray and glove Undertaker.
Yeah. Well, that was the only Undertaker there was at that point.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But it wasn't actually the Undertaker.
Yeah.
Which is why at SummerSlam 94, we got the Undertaker versus the Undertaker.
Where one was controlled by the urn and the other was controlled by DiBiase holding money.
He put out the money and his Undertaker would sit up.
When I was a kid, I fucking loved that. I should probably go back as an adult and rewatch it.
It's a cool idea. If it was a
but
better match, then it would have went down better, and they probably would have had a feud.
I have right now. It came in one of those Zobi wrestling boxes. It came with a Bret Hart autograph, a Shawn Michaels. Oh no, not Shawn. A Bret Hart autograph, Kurt Angle autograph, and it came with a pin. And it was Taker versus Taker pin.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I think one thing that it suffered from is that at that SummerSlam, it followed to what at that point may have been the greatest match in the history of WWF. Bret and Owen in a cage.
Yeah.
Which was incredible.
I actually have a compliment for Bret this show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Again, we're talking about the qualifying matches. Owen beat Doink to qualify for the tournament.
The Doinker.
And Tatanka beat Crush.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Razor and IRS were fighting backstage. Owen does a flying dropkick where he goes like three-quarters of the way across the
But
ring here.
Crush cost Luger his qualifying match or something like that.
Yeah, that happens later. Your referee here is Mike Chioda with a mullet.
Looking good.
Yeah. And then there's a sleeper hugger or a sleeper holder, a bear hug at some point. And Art Donovan says, is Tatanka getting any air at all? No wonder they got 3 doctors around here. They need more than 3 doctors. They need a regimen.
He's putting it over.
He's killing it.
Yeah, he's putting it over.
He's like, I'll tell you, they're killing each other out here. This is way harder than football. Like, he is trying to put over.
At
the
least
wrestlers
these
are
guys
tough.
got they don't even have pads on. How do you guys get up in the morning?
They should be wearing helmets with face masks.
Yeah.
He poked him in the eye.
What?
You gotta have a face mask on.
He sounds ridiculous, but he is putting over what's going
He's
on.
trying.
How
but
do you
it's not
boys?
good.
How do you guys get up in the morning after you banging around like this?
At one point, he goes, Gorilla Randy, did you like this? They're like, oh, we loved it.
Yeah.
Were you guys like this when you guys wrestled?
And then at that point, they just ignored him.
Yeah.
Gorilla just like, hey, man, what's going on? They're like, anyway, there's a suplex.
Gorilla was totally fed up.
He was focused on making sure that it didn't get out of hand the entire time, he did a great job.
Yeah. He did the best he could.
Savage is fucking great.
Gorilla's sitting there like, I will go to WCW and pull Heenan back here myself.
Yeah.
At this point, is what he's saying.
Yep.
Like, I miss you, Bobby. So toward the end of the match here, Tatanka does the War Dance comeback, and it's all Tatanka at the end, except Owen Hart sits down on a sunset flip and gets the flash pin for the win there.
You know what? Even though he is legit Native American, I always thought he didn't look it.
No.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know many Native Americans with curly mullets.
This is
I'm sure there is.
This is a character that my parents thought I would be super into.
Yeah.
Was not into.
My mom liked this. Was her second favorite after
Really?
Ramon in this time period.
Well, he had that big thing too, where he just didn't lose for like a year and a half.
Yeah, his undefeated streak when he had the red part in his hair.
Yeah, I never bought into Tatanka.
And he lost
Cool
to
music.
Ludwig Borga of all people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never bought in.
And so then they're backstage with Diesel, and Diesel has 2 words. Whoa, this is way before that time.
Yeah.
His 2 words are jackknife.
There it is.
And then and Brett teases that he will have a family member in his corner.
Now, real quick, from the ladies' perspective here, you
Okay.
look at an old school Kevin Nash. What do you think?
No.
That's
I
fine.
love the tallness,
Didn't think about it.
but no.
You don't not think of the face at all.
No.
Not even a little attractive.
No. See, I can go Owen. Owen was more my style.
Okay.
I
Owen's
like
more attractive
Oh,
than Kevin
yeah.
Nash.
blonde hair. Blue
Wow.
eyes.
I like Kevin Nash, a good looking guy.
His name's not bad looking. He's
Yeah.
actually aged very gracefully.
Big sexy,
too.
man.
Yeah, he does look good now.
He was tall. Like that was like his catch, I would think. You
You
know,
know,
looking
everyone
at it
likes
as an
what they
older
like.
lady, as a lady in her 30s now, looking back, he was tall, kind of cute that way. But I would have went Owen.
Wow.
Owen.
No,
My brother Owen.
Fight
My
more?
brother Owen.
It won't wrestle my brother.
I won't wrestle my brother Owen.
You know. You know.
So our final first round match of the King of the Ring tournament is going to be JE double F JA double R E double T.
Love Jeff Jarrett.
And
Always was a Jeff Jarrett
His
fan.
outfits were just
Yeah,
Awesome.
outrageous. They made no sense.
Dude, the tassels with the nips out,
Yeah.
the best.
and despite what some people on some podcasts may tell you, his father Jerry was at a high level position at this time in WWF.
Yeah.
The whole idea was if Vince does go to jail, somebody's got to run the day to day here, and it was probably going to be Jerry Jarrett and Linda McMahon in some combination.
Yeah.
And
You know.
huh?
So yeah, Jeff Jarrett versus the 1-2-3 kid.
Yes, he looks like a boxer.
Yeah. He looks like a boxer.
And Art Donovan
What?
called Jeff Jarrett a cutie.
Yeah.
It
He's
was
a
that
cutie.
that peach colored gear. is
How
making his
how
peach
old is a
look
1-2-3 kid here?
Not probably not that old. This is-
Early 20s?
I don't know how early, but he was definitely in his 20s.
Wow. You look good.
He
I
was
remember
incredible.
I remember I always look at like old 1-2-3 kid stuff as like when his eyebrows grew back
Yeah.
in. Because they infamously
yeah.
shaved his eyebrows
He was-
off.
They shaved one
yeah.
off, and then he had to shave the other one off to not look like an idiot.
He was 21 at this point, so yeah, he's
Yeah.
super young. Wow, super young here. About to turn 22.
He got a cool push too, man. He came in right away, got a shot like with some pretty cool things.
and
If
that
he would have
young.
came along 10 years later,
Yeah.
oh, the sky would have been the limit for him.
Yeah.
So good. So good. But yeah, it's him and Jarrett, and they're acting like this is going to be a pushover for Jarrett. And as far as Art says about Jeff Jarrett, he's like, he's got a nice tan. He must have been in the islands somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, he said he must have been in New Orleans.
I thought he said the island.
I thought he said the island.
Oh, I
Yeah.
totally thought he
He
said New
also
Orleans.
They're not as big as some of these other fellas, are they? The way to bury them, Art.
Gorilla called the 1-2-3 kid Mr. Electricity. That was Steve Regal, sir.
Yeah.
That was AWA Steve Regal, not Lord Steven Regal.
And he's Jeff Jarrett's with Road Dogg at this point, right?
Not
No
No.
roadie yet.
no,
Roadie?
yet.
The Road Dog is either Brian Armstrong in WCW or he's doing something like Memphis or something.
Okay.
Or no, he would have been well out of the Marines.
So then in this match, Jeff Jarrett loses and then beats the shit out of 1-2-3
Did
kid.
Powell
Yeah,
drive him like
it's
3 times?
Yeah, super quick match, very fast paced. Your referee in this match, did you notice it was Andy?
No,
Hebner?
I forget.
Not Hebner.
Was it Bill Alfonso?
No, Bill Alfonso was gone.
Yeah, he was gone
this,
by-
this is the guy who
Not Joey Morella.
no.
Joey Morella died like shortly after this, like
Yeah.
a few weeks after this. Your referee in this match is Dangerous Danny Davis.
Is it? Wow.
Yes.
How about that?
There it is.
And yeah, Jarrett works the leg, but a small package out of the figure 4 gives the kid the win. So again, the same finish 2 matches in a row, the flash pin.
Yeah.
Jarrett attacks after repeated pile drivers, and the refs, the officials can't stop him. Rene Goulet is out there. Tony Gurria is out there. Art Donovan says they got to call out the Marines. So Art's still going. And then we have we do have an ad. We have a video for the new generation.
Yep.
And it's like out with the old, in with the new. They have this like little blimp, and then they have like a fighter jet, and they have an old car that falls apart around the guy, and then the race cars. And then they have the 4 people they single out as the old generation are Andre the Giant, the Iron Sheik, Ivan Putski, and wouldn't you guess it, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
And then it's the new generation, and it's
Jerry Lawler.
well, they don't show him.
It was like Razor,
He was Razor
1-2-3
Diesel.
kid.
Yeah.
It was Bret Hart and the Click.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brett does another promo, recaps the Diesel attack. It's not a great promo. I think the other one was just a Coliseum video promo, and this one was actually on the show.
Yeah.
And he says, I've been a victim of injustice once before, and I'm not going to allow it to happen again. Not aging well there, Brett.
Yeah.
Not aging well at all. No.
Brett's best promos were in WCW.
Oh, yeah, the El Dandy promo. Is
Yeah.
as good as it got.
Well,
When
his,
he didn't take himself so fucking serious.
Canadian, when he was
Yeah, actually,
a
that's
heel
when he was
in Canada,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
WWF, that was really good. That was his.
When he was forced out of his comfort zone and he had to like,
Mhm.
why are people hating
Our
me?
beer is better.
Yeah.
Our women look
He
better.
was so much better then.
So it's mid show here is your WWF title match.
Yeah.
Bret Hart defending against the Intercontinental Champion Diesel, but the Intercontinental title not on the line.
Yeah,
just
no
the
line.
because I think they said when the match was signed, Diesel hadn't won the title yet. Then he beat Razor Ramon on
Yeah.
Superstars.
Now, is there like speculation on how this was booked or went down or anything like that?
What do you mean?
Because it just looked like Bret Hart pulled the like, I'll take the jackknife, brother, but I'm not gonna lose clean. Or
Well, they didn't want Diesel to win the title.
Yeah.
it just was such a fucked up. Like if that's if it was a world title match in a pay per view now and
Yeah.
that's how it ended, people would fucking lose their shit.
Yeah, they'd freak.
Yeah,
The-
but also the focus
There was
on that
a larger
pay-per-view.
storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just to me it
Sean's
looked
gonna
like
turn on Diesel.
everyone had to
Gonna
look
turn
like
heel.
they're good, but I don't know.
Well, the story here is that Vince was falling in love with Diesel, so they're going to keep Diesel strong,
Yeah.
and they want the whole story. The whole theme of the night is it's Owens having a great night and Brett's having a bad night.
Yeah.
So that's why you do it. That's the theme of the night and the whole Neidhart thing, because that's the guy. Brett brings out his old tag partner, his brother-in-law,
Is it
Jimmy
gonna be
Anvil.
Bruce. That's what
No.
they're asking.
I always think of Bobby Heenan at one of the best commentary jobs in a match ever is Bobby Heenan and the Hart family against Shawn Michaels and his Knights of Survivor Series 1993. Because if you think Jerry Lawler was bad with Jerry Lawler was more vicious, but Heenan was funnier when he was talking about like Stu and Helen, and they're talking about Bruce Hardy's there, and he's like, "You have 9 months to think of a name, and the best you come up with is Bruce."
If I would have had a son, his name would have been Bruce. I'm not even gonna lie.
You have 9 months to come up with a name. Art Donovan when Diesel comes out, because Diesel comes out first, and he does have the it's just
It's
such a
so
trouble.
annoying. It's
the horn over and over.
like, who thought that was good?
Yeah.
Just come out to a truck revving
The
and
same-
blowing its horn.
It was the same guy who thought that Yankum coming out to a dentist
Yeah.
drill was good.
Or when IRS used to come out to like typewriters.
Yeah,
typing
the
taxes.
adding machine.
Yeah.
Ching. Yeah.
Art Donovan asks if Shawn Michaels is a wrestler.
Don't like that.
Is he a wrestler?
Yeah, one of the best. Yeah.
He is.
Um,
Not a fan of this Sean hairstyle.
I don't mind the
The
mullet.
spiky top mullet.
Yeah.
though. Not a fan. I like the feathered side. I don't like the almost buzz cut.
Oh, it wasn't that short.
but
It was
again, with
pretty short.
some of the people in this tournament, why wasn't Shawn in it?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Yeah, we would have had to lose. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure they would have
Solve
done
that one.
Yeah.
It would have. They could have done something where someone runs in and takes him.
In his defense,
What,
he
the whole
wasn't.
Marine Corps runs in from after the bar
Listen,
incident?
That's what I'm
Art already
saying.
called for them. He
Yeah.
called for them during the Jarrett thing. Send in the Marines. And
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels like, what? No,
Yeah.
don't do that.
As we say, this Bret Hart, has to go lose by DQ.
I don't think that was a Brett call. I think that was a Vince call.
That was a Vince
Well, wasn't
call,
there a
yeah.
whole thing later on where Bret, like, he said he didn't want to take a jackknife because he didn't trust them because they were having all their beef at
That's
the
no
time.
story.
He took jackknives.
Yeah.
They had a match at the Royal Rumble where Brett does the jackknife and Diesel covers. And this is 95 when Diesel's the champion. Diesel covers, and it's supposed to be 1-2. And then because Diesel's feuding with Shawn breaks up a pin. But Brett made goddamn sure he got that shoulder up in case Shawn was late. Brett at that point was smart enough to protect himself, and then he kind of forgot that by 1997.
Yeah, allegedly.
But anyway, Brett works the leg early, goes outside, gets clotheslined by Shawn. Anvil gives chase, and Shawn's great here. Shawn's great as the guy doing all the interference
Yeah,
from the
and taking
outside and being a
bumps.
dick
Yeah.
and taking bumps. And
I will say this. Here's my compliment, Brett. My Bret Hart compliment.
Mhm.
Probably my favorite Bret Hart gear.
Oh, I love that with the white
Oh,
milky
yeah.
stuff.
With,
Yeah.
like almost like the Nasty Boys paint
Yeah,
splash.
yeah,
and
it's
then
really-
the skulls going down the legs.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Good gear.
this is the first of 4 matches like Brett and Diesel had like title matches on pay-per-view between this and Nash leaving for WCW, and it's probably the worst one. Nash
It's a lot of Brett just punching
Yeah.
him and like then Nash bouncing around.
Nash
Like,
is still learning how to work a long match at this point because everything he's done up to this is just like short stuff.
Yeah.
Their match at the Royal Rumble, even though it's a non-finish again, is very good. And then their match at Survivor Series where Brett wins the title from Diesel is very, very good and it has a finish. And then they did the match in the cage at one of the in-your houses, which is pretty good too. Not a clean finish, but it has one of my favorite finishes. Do you remember that one, Andy? It's like Brett's the champion, and it's Brett and Diesel in the cage. Diesel just turned heel, and he's feuding with the Undertaker. And Diesel's about to walk out of the cage. He has Brett dead to rights.
Is that when the glove comes up to the ring?
And Diesel's about to step out of the door, and a purple glove comes up through the ring and grabs
and smoke.
Yes.
I think that's like the whole Cody thing. Like, this is why I had a hard time with Brett growing up. It's because as a kid watching it, even like Hogan, I was like, either he's gonna get fucked out of it or he's not gonna lose. Like he doesn't lose.
Brett lost all the time though.
Yeah, Brett would lose.
But if
Cody
lost the
loses
back.
too.
But if he loses, it's like, oh, he lost because something had to happen.
But rule of thumb, your top babyface shouldn't do a lot of clean jobs.
I know.
That's a rule of thumb.
And that's why I never really got it. Like, that's why when Sean,
But then you wouldn't like any top babyface ever.
some of my I did like
'Cause
some,
they should.
but I
always-
always leaned harder to the heel.
Especially if they're champion,
Like
they
when
should win.
Sean lost the title to Sid, he got hit with a camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Sean,
And that was the only
Sean-
time he ever lost. Like literally, I think that besides Austin, that might be the only. And
Yeah.
then when he lost to Austin, he got hit by Mike Tyson,
Yeah.
But
which
like,
is worse than a camera.
but like for me, that's why I think I attached myself to Sean, is because like his run up was like,
But what we're explaining
always-
to you is the
always
same thing happened
underdog.
with Sean.
yeah, no, I agree. I wasn't a huge fan of Sean as the babyface. Like, I wasn't a big babyface Sean guy.
Well, he was never really. Besides, well, that one point with Tyson, he was a heel champion. too,
Yeah.
And he's,
Yeah.
and even as a heel champion, when he should lose clean, he needed Tyson to hit him.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just bought into the fact that like he had to work from behind a lot more than Bret Hart. I don't know. It was just a thing for me.
Bret Hart's same size.
Yeah,
Maybe a little bit taller.
yeah. I don't know.
A little bit.
Yeah, it was weird.
It's
I don't know.
not
I thought
not
they were-
Hogan.
Yeah, from what I can remember, I thought they were well matched in the ring.
Now
Oh,
Hogan,
they had great matches.
Hogan didn't lose.
Yeah.
No, I
Never.
fucking hated that.
Never.
Like, yeah, I was just like, this is boring. I already know how this is gonna end.
So
I
yeah,
like
Sean
Hogan.
Sean takes an incredible bump because
Oh.
Brett has
Oh, off the
Diesel the
guardrail.
sharpshooter,
Yes.
and Brett has Diesel the sharpshooter, but Sean gets up on the ropes. He's like, Brett does the dumb baby face thing. Well, I have my guy here, but for some reason, I'm just going to put him down and go to the side, and they're going to hit Sean, and then Sean just flies off and hits the guardrail. Amazing.
He
Yeah.
bounces like a pinball.
He was awesome at selling.
Oh, he was great.
That's another reason why I attached myself more to him too. His sells were awesome.
Diesel attacks Neidhart on the outside, and the referee goes to break that up, which allows Sean to come in to get a belt shot, and then Diesel drops an elbow for a super close two. Brett was so great at the close two counts. He was so great at them. And then Neidhart just walks out.
Mhm.
He there's a jackknife, but Jim Neidhart comes in and attacks Diesel for the DQ, and then he walks out.
And Hebner has to follow him all the way back or something. Like, it was so weird how Sean had like all the time in the world to like just do whatever he wanted.
Yeah, and then Brett and Diesel again, same things earlier. I think if Vince is there, there's more quality control.
Mhm.
We did this in 2 matches ago, where the babyface is getting beat up by the heels afterward, and the refs and the agents had to come in and break it up.
Yep.
The referees do announce that Bret Hart is still the champion. Savage calls him the greatest of all time.
Mhm.
Yeah, because Hogan's gone to WCW. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's not the greatest anymore.
Now, at least
He didn't
like,
say all that.
Yeah. That's
the
what he thought.
the multiple like roll up like flash pins, I think that makes sense because the people who did it won in the first round of the tournament. You kind of want to win quickly to preserve your energy, but then to have
It's just
two,
you don't want to do the same finish in 2 matches in a row.
and I get that, but I
Wasn't-
think
like, last
maybe
year-
want to save that from one of the guys that weren't so great with their
Wasn't
cardio
there?
or
Wasn't it like
whatever.
last year's Hell in a Cell had like 3 roll up pins in the
Yeah.
pay per view? I was like,
Yeah, there's
ugh,
not great quality control in the book.
that's a WWE, the most devastating move in all WWE. The
Yeah,
fucking
The roll up.
the roll up pin.
the backwoods, as Xavier Woods
Yeah.
calls it.
That used to be the big thing in indie matches too. It'd be all these crazy slams and drivers, and then get the roll up.
ECW, people are hitting each other with nuclear warheads, and then Shane Douglas wins with a belly-to-belly suplex.
Yeah.
Yep. Crazy.
Every main event. So backstage, Penn goes with Lawler, who says Art Donovan's first job was parking covered wagons. Piper's the pits. That's the bottom line. No, that's 2 King of the Rings from now, Jerry.
Yeah.
That's 2 King of the That's
Oh,
96.
Jerry goes hard on Art Donovan.
And Jerry,
Because he's listening to commentary.
one of the big things Jerry wants to do is Piper wants to. This is all about the winner's share of the purse, like you said back in the day. The winner made more money,
Mhm.
and Piper wants to donate his winnings to the sick kids at a Toronto Children's Hospital. But Jerry Lawler doesn't want any of those brats to get the money, so he's going to win.
This would have been fine if he didn't do the exact same promo when he hits the ring.
Yeah, but this is probably one of those Coliseum
Yeah.
exclusives.
Yeah.
So they probably knew how bad Art Donovan was, so they had they probably shot this like Jerry, just say something bad about Art Donovan. So now it's the second round is coming in. Razor Ramon against IRS. Art Donovan. This is my man Razor, right?
Yeah.
The guy who picks one of the
This is the guy I won, right?
And you can tell this is at the point you can tell Grill and Randy are just like, I'm not gonna. We're just
Yeah,
we'll just
they're
ignore him.
they're not playing in half of the things he says anymore. You say something, they just keep moving.
And it's fine. It's a whatever match. Razor does take IRS down by the tie. That was always a fun spot. IRS is called on commentary, I think it was by Gorilla, as a key part of the new generation. IRS was 36 here,
and
he was a defending tag team champion at WrestleMania 1.
Yeah, but keep
one.
The new generation.
New generation.
Yep.
I mean, he can still move around and stuff. He does his finisher halfway through the match. You know what his finisher is? It's the write-off. It's when he moves off the ropes and does a jumping clothesline.
That was his finisher.
Mhm.
You know, I was actually thinking to myself, watching
sucks.
it, I was like, what was his finishing move?
Didn't he do a Samoan drop for a little bit too? But then Tatanka did it too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys back. Like if you told me what Tatanka's finishing,
End of the trail.
I could never.
Samoan drop.
There's
Yeah,
so many I
Samoan
would never be able to remember right now.
Yeah, some people like
Sean's not doing the sweet chin at this point,
I
is
don't
he?
think he's doing it
Is he
yet.
still doing the
doing the
sidewalk
teardrop?
slam or whatever?
He might be doing it, but they're calling it like a crescent kick or something.
Yeah, Savate kick,
Yeah.
something like that, thrust
Yeah.
kick. Sean is a heel at this point, so he's mainly winning by cheating.
Yeah.
Like Jarrett was doing the figure 4, but you usually the baby faces were the ones with the big face, or if you're like a big heel, like the bonsai drop,
Yeah.
or
Razor had the Razor's Edge.
the Razor's
Razor's
Edge.
It's like the one
Jackknife.
thing, like what's your finisher like?
Some of them stand out, and
Fucking
some of them just
clothesline,
they
like,
don't. I couldn't tell you to save my life.
Bam Bam's was a diving headbutt,
Yeah,
What did you say about like Elias? What the fuck was his finisher?
flying elbow,
elbow drop.
Yeah,
What was that? I thought it was
No,
his
D-
neck breaker thing.
Yeah, I thought it was the
DDT.
neck
I thought it was
breaker.
either that or the elbow
See?
drop.
They called it the
either way.
They called it the drift away.
Yeah, either way,
Oh, yeah.
it's not good.
Well, if
Yeah.
you're talking
Yeah.
about how a clothesline is kind of a bummer finisher, how the hell do you feel
But-
about Hangman Page?
but it
Because
wasn't-
buckshot
I think
lariat?
that's cool.
There's
IRS
presentation. to
There's a
that.
Oh,
there's a,
IRS
there's a
jumped
flip
up in
to
the
it.
air.
There's a little flare.
There's a flip.
And he
There's a
does like
flare.
a clothesline kind of forearm
No.
thing that's just like, man.
This is 1994. 10 years later, there's going to be a long-term
Yeah.
heel champion on SmackDown whose finisher is a clothesline.
Yeah, but that's a good clothesline.
From hell.
There's a good clothesline, and a bad clothesline.
where
It's like
where
there's good
someone
moves,
sells
bad
your
moves.
clothesline like you're getting killed too, and
But-
you're actually
well,
laying it in like you're killing.
If you sold this one like you're getting killed, people are like,
Yeah.
come on, get up.
The Razor does get the win here with the Razor's Edge. Bret Hart is backstage furious, looking for Jim Neidhart.
Oh yeah, you
Um,
can't find him, and you could tell the production at the time, the backstage was not that great because
No.
it's very
Yeah.
dark.
Yeah, he's looking for because that's the other part of the story. And this is why it all does kind of tie in. I understand the booking. Bret is just as mad as the crowd is about this DQ, like because Bret probably has in his head, I could have kicked out of the jackknife. I could have got my shoulder off.
Yeah, Randy
I'm the
put
champion. I'm gonna
Randy
win.
put that over a lot too.
Yeah.
He could have kicked out of that jackknife. We would never know.
So Owen Hart and the 1-2-3 Kid are next, and it may be the best 4 minutes or less match
Mhm.
ever.
Mhm.
It is so good, and it's like 3 minutes and 30 seconds
Well,
long.
he starts off by doing a basement drop kick or whatever the hell you call it to the outside, and just kills 1-2-3 Kid
Oh,
with
yeah.
it. Like you could tell he hit him right in the fucking face with it. Owen Hart destroys Sean with that baseball slide drop kick through the ropes, and then he does the tope suicida.
Owen Hart looks great in this
Yeah.
match. though.
Yeah.
This is such a showcase for Owen.
Yeah,
And
nice
Owen
finish.
Hart
he
looks like $1 million.
overshot it. He dove so far out, he almost missed completely.
My favorite's the finish when 1-2-3 Kid goes for the Frankenstein and just grabs him and gets the hell of a power bomb.
That power bomb was like, hey, put him through the mat with
Yeah.
that thing.
It's like,
Owen's so
boop,
good.
sharpshooter, see you later.
Yeah, I was always growing up. I was like, I was an Owen over Brett.
Owen had all the moves like
You're so
from
good.
like I guess 10 years in the future.
Yeah.
Oh, he was
He
doing
also
that.
had the charisma.
And,
Oh, that was great.
Owen and like Sean and stuff had that where they did a little bit of high flying mixed with the old school stuff
Yeah.
where they towed that line where you had got like Brett was like
they didn't let you do too much high flying in WWF at that point either.
Yeah.
and they
he
were
did
the
not
only two that
crazy.
were like able to do crazier things, and I was like, oh, that's what I'm into it. You know what I mean? But like, I don't know. If I see a guy doing a front flip over the top rope and that, and then Bret Hart's doing a second elbow drop, I'm just like, nah.
You know, I like the technical wrestling too.
Yeah.
There's-
And I thought they towed the line. Owen probably better than anybody, where he was the shades of Brett with his technical, but he also could do the high flying. Yeah,
Owen was incredible.
he's fantastic.
I really feel like he should have gotten that really quick title run between Brett and Diesel in the
Yeah.
back one.
Agreed.
So Piper, this is like a Coliseum video exclusive promo. It was a weird one. He takes shots like Hell Comes to Frogtown, and he's puts
Great
over.
movie, by the way.
I've never seen it.
He hated it apparently, according to this thing.
Yeah,
So you
good mo-
you had to talk about the one movie I didn't like. Hell Comes to Frogtown.
It's a great movie. It's so cheesy. It's good.
Yeah,
He's the last sterile man
Yeah,
in the world.
he brings it up.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
He puts over the kid who was on the King's Court, the little kid that Jerry Lawler brought up to impersonate Roddy Piper.
What was it?
and
What they say?
really
Two mosquito bites
On
on a piece of wet spaghetti.
And he's talking about all the kings, Rodney King, Don King, King the dog. I don't remember King the dog.
I don't remember King the dog.
Roddy
either.
had some very obscure references.
It might have been someone's dog, and it was
Yeah.
named King in the back.
Piper's so good.
Yeah,
Not here.
I forgot all about this match completely for some reason. I was like,
this is something I had in the notes for later. It is the only match Roddy Piper had in WWF or anywhere, I think, between WrestleMania 8 and WrestleMania 12.
wow,
Yeah.
holy shit, he looked great.
I love
Oh,
Piper.
yeah.
Love Piper.
Not so great was this next match, crushing Yokozuna against
Yeah.
the Head Shrinkers.
That was a little long too.
Now, how much
Yeah.
do you think just looking at your Stone Cold shirt, Stone Cold took the fuck fear off of Fear This or whatever Piper's shirt?
It was
said?
no fear was a big thing back then.
Yeah.
No fear
Oh
was
yeah, that
everywhere.
was a clothing line, wasn't it? It was like
Yes.
motorcycle,
Mhm.
like
Yes.
dirt bike stuff.
Piper's shirt
think it was
said
dirt
Fear
bike.
This
Yeah.
or
I thought it said no fear.
did it say no fear?
It said no fear and had eyes.
Yeah, and
Had,
his
like-
No, not his didn't.
Oh,
No, the clothing line you're talking about
yes,
was
that's what
the
I'm
No
thinking.
Fear clothing
yeah,
line.
with the
was
eyes. Yeah, I think
Eyes.
Piper's was his font, but it said no fear. So it was huge. in
And the
early
back
90s.
was a Tasmanian devil and Roddy Piper, which he had forever.
yeah,
Because they used to just have like a panther or something on the front of it.
yeah,
And then
like an
for a
old
while,
tattoo.
And then for a while, it was like the iconic like hot rod one that
Yeah.
everybody had.
Yeah.
So Owen Hart does a promo. Or no, well, let's just talk about this match. Art is just in all of Yokozuna's size.
Head Shrinkers, the good guys, didn't work.
Yeah, it was no
Yeah.
fear. Yeah.
Didn't work.
Yeah, Yoko was very much slowing down at this point. That's why he's in tag matches when he was just a champion.
I'll tell you
a few
what,
months
even
before.
though he's slowing down at this point, I'm still into Yoko, man. He was fucking good.
It was good. He could move. I mean, until the end.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was good. But like this match, I don't
Local
I mean-
local Samoan from us wrestling
Yeah.
this match
Yeah,
before
Samoa.
he
Yeah.
ate the bad fruit. That's how they wrote him off TV. He,
Oh yeah, Samoa when they had
Yeah.
to bring in Sione. Yeah,
he
some
ate bad fruit. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, they got to wrestle. They're all buddies. Well, they're related, and I'm sure Crush.
And then you had the original Head Shrinkers out there. And
Yeah.
Captain Lou's out there.
Alpha.
The only one that was at a place was Crush.
Well, because he's Hawaiian, so they're like, oh, he's an island guy too.
Yeah. But I think as a kid I didn't like Yoko because I just like, oh, he's just a big guy. I'm not gonna do it. But as I get older and I watch more stuff of him, like
Yeah, you
holy
could tell he
fuck,
was a good wrestler.
It was
so good.
also weird because he was like, and this was very rare for WWE, but he was a long-term heel champion.
Yeah.
Which was odd at that time.
I liked him when he was with Fuji, I think, but the most. Like when he was
And that was a tie too, because they were both Fuji guys, so that's why they were a team.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he turned face, then at the end,
and he's like the
it
first
wasn't
action
good.
figure too that actually had like a different body than everybody else. Like
But he
even,
actually kind of had to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like everyone else, even if like Bam Bam was very similar, like maybe had a little bit of a belly.
Yeah, they had a template for like Bam Bam was a lot like the Albano. Was
yeah.
yeah.
And then Yoko just was like his own
Mhm.
standout figure. They should remake a Yoko with that wrestling all-star thing.
Which one?
Like the new ones that are coming out, like the He-Man ones.
oh, the multiple.
If
Oh,
they,
yeah,
if
yeah,
they
yeah.
do like a
They might, yeah.
with the
robe,
the
yeah.
robe. Oh, that'd be sick.
So then
Funny, they haven't made a Yokozuna one in a while.
Yeah.
yeah, they haven't. So then Luger comes out with a weird outfit and a
Never,
lot
yeah,
of spend.
I've
that
never gotten a
outfit-
Luger either.
I don't know what the fuck was going on when he took the shirt off. I'm like, wait a minute, it's like what's the one word like a what's it called for dance?
Like a leotard?
Yeah,
unitard,
leotard.
but with a tank top. I was like, what
It's
the
like an 80s
fuck? And he pulled
workout.
the straps down. Like, where did he get that? This is 1994.
You got it from 1984.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't.
The crowd popped though when he hit
But I'm like, why wasn't Lex in the tournament?
because he
I
got
think
caught,
they-
'cause
yeah,
got
He was in a
Crush.
he lost a qualifying match to Jarrett because Crush interfered.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
that's
didn't
why he
bring
went
that
after- That's why he went after. Crush.
I forget who the 1-2-3 kid beat. I forgot to give the people who.
Yeah, who did he beat? Brian Christopher?
No, he wasn't around at that point.
Darby Allin.
1-2-3 kid beat Adam Bomb.
Whoa.
Oh, I remember Adam Bomb.
I like Dan Bomb. He wasn't that great in wrestling.
No, he had a good look though.
He had a great
Oh,
look.
we should have brought that up. Adam Bomb, because he was managed at that point by Harvey Whippleman,
Mhm.
who will be at Legends of Hamburg in July, as will Tatanka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so some of the people.
Get your Harvey Whippleman figure signed. There is
yeah.
one. It's with John Gonzalez. With
former WWE Women's Champion Harvey Whippleman.
That's
There
true.
it is.
So the next thing is an Owen Hart promo backstage. Brett is a loser. He says and that's why they're feeding off of the DQ. There.
Oh, the one of them, I think Samu wins with the super kick.
yeah,
But they,
Fatu.
but they don't call it the super
Yeah,
kick.
Yeah.
Luger distracts Crush, and then Fatu super kicks him, gets the pin. Owen promo, Brett is losing. He just ends it with a very snide Happy Father's Day.
Yeah.
Because Stu has taken his whole thing is like Neidhart is well, this comes later. I'm getting ahead of myself. But the finals of the King of the Ring here, Razor Ramon against Owen Hart. Good match, but you can kind of tell they didn't want to wrestle again. They can kind of tell, like, yeah, we're a little spent here. Art now thinks Razor's going to lose. Art has figured it out. He's figured out the booking. He's like, they're like, you picked Razor. Like, yeah, but I think he's going to win now. I changed my mind.
Yeah. Art wants to look like a hero.
It was very odd because Owen Hart does an abdominal stretch here, and it's very odd seeing Razor Ramon take the abdominal stretch instead of giving it.
Yeah, because that was one of his.
That was one of his big.
And he's huge.
Yeah.
So Razor goes to the Razor's Edge, but it's insanely out of position unless he's going to give Owen the Razor's Edge out of the ring. But then Owen backdrops Razor out and distracts the referee. So Jim Neidhart comes back out, beats up Razor, throws him back into the ring. Owen Hart does the diving elbow for the 3. Doesn't do it with the sharpshooter because top baby faces back then did not tap out ever or lose by submission ever.
Yeah.
Razor's attack afterward. Brett and Owen and Neidhart do the old Hart Foundation heart attack finisher, which is Brett and Enville's old finisher. No Brett, and the crowd is just chanting, "We want Brett! We want Brett!"
He's still running around looking for him.
Yeah, in the back.
Where you at, Jim?
He's in the ring. Well, Ray Rougeau
Trying to
goes
open locked
backstage
doors.
with Brett. Ray Rougeau is backstage with Brett, asking, and he says he has no comment. He's just leaving in disgust.
And he says, "Remember we wrestled at WrestleMania 4? When was Hart Foundation, or was that a side pay-per-view?
That was a side pay-per-view. That was like a SummerSlam or Royal. I know the first Royal Rumble pay-per-view, not the USA special, but the first pay-per-view they did. Duggan and the Hart Foundation against Dino Bravo and the Rougeaus. 2 out of 3 falls. And so Savage thinks Neidhart was there with Brett to just make sure that Brett keeps the title so Owen can be the one that beats his brother.
Mhm.
And there's their storyline, and there's why they do the DQ.
Yeah.
I don't think it was Brett making a power play because I don't think they were ready. They weren't ready to put the title on Diesel yet. For one thing, he's still the Intercontinental Champion. He's going to lose out to Razor at SummerSlam. Do you know who was in Razor Ramon's corner at that SummerSlam? I'll give you a hint. It was in Chicago.
Not CM Punk.
Yeah.
That was my guess. Not Cole Cabana.
No, I think there
was it Ali?
Chicago. Walter Payton.
Yes, it was Walter Payton. So no Brett, and so Art Donovan, when they're talking about the beatdown, Art Donovan says, "Did you guys act like that when you were wrestling?"
Yeah.
And Gorilla and Macho just completely ignore him.
Yeah.
Let's go to the coronation.
Yeah.
Which my president is present for the coronation.
Jack Tunney.
Jack Tunney. Yes. Yes.
Not a great coronation.
The greatest president that ever lived, Jack Tunney. Oh, this is much better than the one next year.
Yeah.
Where Mo delivered the coronation speech in 1995. And I do like that they make Pettengill bend the knee.
Yeah.
They make and he only does it for like 10 seconds.
The robe and crown at this point are fucking awesome looking too. And the scepter.
That robe, I wonder whatever happened to that robe.
And the scepter.
Yeah.
The chair was cool looking.
The whole set was cool. Yeah. I like the whole when they came out and the guys would open the doors.
Do you know who they were in 1995?
Yeah, the Hardy Boys.
Philly? Yeah, it was the Hardy Boys.
Yep.
I was directly above them.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's probably the best part of that.
Yeah, it was awful. Oh, it was bad. It was so bad.
We're
No, the funniest
gonna
thing,
review that show in the future.
Oh god.
you're gonna review that
That's
show.
like if you type in top 10 pay-per-views, worst pay-per-views of WWF, that's right near the top. That December, just remember.
What do you think is the worst pay-per-view?
December to
WrestleMania 9 maybe, or December, remember.
WrestleMania 2 is really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a side in your house that's probably awful too that I can't think of.
So the first proclamation. Well, first Owen says that Jim is the only person in his family that he can trust, and he is now to be known as the King of Hearts.
Yeah,
and that is decent long-term booking because this was the second they had done the King of the Ring tournament for years in house shows. I think the first Wrestling Classic, the first pay-per-view was for the King of the Ring, the Junkyard Dog one. But
yeah, Harley Race won, and that's how he got the
yeah.
Sorry to cut you off, but like when a guy wins the King of the Ring,
Mhm.
it is something that you should have as a badge of honor on your career forever. Like I know people are like with Corbin, like, why is he still doing the King thing? Like,
well, I think you can have it. I won the King of the Ring without necessarily having a King gimmick.
sure,
I know they leaned on that.
lean a little, but like even
2000.
when he was like, if he came out here and he's like, I'm still King, like I'm King Corbin, yeah, I wouldn't be upset with that, like because he won that, like,
Well, the Xavier one's been weird because he got hurt right after he won it.
yeah. And he just like that, but like Owen did the whole King of Hearts thing for almost the rest of his career.
But,
He kind of leaned on.
He didn't have a King gimmick.
No, not at
No.
all. But he still referred to himself as the King of Hearts.
Which is okay.
Yeah, but
he
didn't
did it
come
until
out-
he won the 2 Slammies, and then that was the
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
Slammy Award winning on.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind the like. I thought Austin should have like not King Austin, but like,
no, he would have been no, but don't change anything about what Steve Austin did because that is a butterfly effect that changes wrestling.
Yeah.
Because
That
when
was
he
perfect.
wins, he does the Austin 316 promo.
But I
and he
think
saves the company.
more people almost forget that he won that King of the Ring because he did such a good promo.
I know.
It all worked out in the
Yeah.
end because if he doesn't do that promo, WCW maybe wins.
No, I agree, but I just there was never even like King of the Ring merchandise.
But that's
Because
because
that
you know
would have
why?
been
Because
so
Vince,
that would have been so counter to Austin's character to
Yeah.
be King
Yeah.
Austin.
yeah, and Vince doesn't like King of the Ring, so that's why it went away for several years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I always liked it.
and Austin was a last minute switch. He was not supposed to win that King of the Ring.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Somebody was getting punished for the curtain call.
curtain call.
And they weren't going to punish Sean, so they had to punish somebody else.
Yeah.
The other two guys were gone.
Yep.
So our main event is
Or
is,
Sean hate on the podcast.
the main event here is
You're his only cheerleader here.
I'm
The
wearing-
only one.
he is an incredible wrestler.
Yeah, incredible wrestler.
He is an
Not
incredible
so incredible
wrestler.
person back then.
Yeah, no agreement there.
The main event for this pay-per-view that is ushering in the new generation is Roddy Piper against Jerry the King Lawler.
Piper looks probably better now than he did his whole career. He looked
Yeah, he
fucking
looks
great.
He
Great,
was
yeah.
he was shredded. And he had lost a lot of weight. He lost a lot, and he was just no body fat on him. Like Piper is 40 here. Jerry
was gonna
Lawler is
say.
45.
Wow.
The new generation.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what though.
but AJ is older right now than both them then.
even Piper. I mean, even like Jerry. Jerry had a formula that worked. Like,
Oh yeah, that's why he's still wrestling
yeah.
now, doing the same stuff.
yeah. There's not a like. I wouldn't say like there's not a great Jerry Lawler match, but like
Oh, there are.
I mean,
Yeah. Go through Memphis.
yeah,
Jerry.
you watch his
Yeah.
Memphis stuff. I'm like, even when he was at WB and he was just like the chicken shit heel and getting beat up, like he hit everything he needed to do to get through the match. Like he was good,
Yeah,
he was
it's
solid.
It's not bad. I mean,
Yeah.
you could say maybe it's
Longevity.
not.
Yeah, he's
No.
awesome.
Piper was
5
kind of
stars,
at this point though.
Yeah.
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 Kind of like the Miz.
Dude,
how he
and-
messes.
What an entrance!
Yeah, he's
No, by Piper, yeah.
Bagpipes and then they cut it, and then the
Yeah, the room
bagpipes
music
pick
comes in.
back. Oh, so good.
I thought you were talking about Lawler just making fun of Baltimore, going after the sick kids again. They call it the governor. The governor's in the audience. But then Piper comes out with the entrance and he waves out the kid that Jerry Lawler had on the King's Court, who was nobody knows where he really came from. He kind of milked this for a while. He up until even a few years ago he would do indies on and off in like the Boston area as Pat Piper. But they do the they live line.
He
We're
had
here to kick ass and chew bubble gum.
Terrible haircut when he was impersonating Piper. Terrible haircut.
Piper throws the kilt at Lawler and then attacks him afterward. And Art Donovan says, "I don't think Roddy Piper likes this guy."
He likes this.
Welcome to the show, Art.
They fight on the outside. There's not much to this. Lawler goes after the
No.
kid. They do the sleeper spot. They say it's Lawler's patented sleeper, which he never really used.
In transit,
Oh, it's,
the 2L virus.
oh wow, you ordered them. I don't know. I'm not into either of them.
I love him.
Not
They do a ref bump off the bulldog attempt, and Lawler has some kind of foreign object. You don't see because he kind of puts it in his hand.
He has nothing.
He's from Memphis. It had to be a chain. When you're in
Yeah.
Memphis, you got to use a chain.
chain, but that's what you keep in your tights.
He had absolutely nothing, and it worked
Yeah.
perfectly.
Or you take tape. You would tape. That was the
Yeah.
old gimmick.
Yeah.
So and then like they call Lawler's patented sleeper, and then he has a pile driver, which is actually his move.
Yeah.
and they don't really sell it that much. But they do after the foreign object shot, or sorry, the international object, baby.
Bill Watts.
They do the Memphis cradle, the pin with the feet up on the ropes. But then the kid throws Lawler's feet off the ropes, and there's a little bit of an argument, and then a back suplex from Piper gets the 1,
Yeah,
2,
like a
3.
little
What was Piper's finisher?
sleeper
sleeper
hold.
hold.
So, it's at sleeper hold.
And the WCW started doing the pile driver too, so they had the same
Yeah.
move.
And then we do have a little closing thing, which I think was a Coliseum exclusive with Shawn and Diesel.
Yeah, but they're kind of teasing that they're running break up. So.
But they don't for a while. They don't
Yeah.
break up until Survivor Series. They actually, shortly after this, right before SummerSlam, like the night or two before, they win the tag titles.
Yeah, two dudes with attitudes.
Which is funny because at that point, Diesel is the Intercontinental Champion and a tag champion.
That's the black trunks with the blue hearts.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that was when they were babyface and did it. That was
Yeah.
like that was a little bit later. But that one they just beat the Head Shrinkers at a house show, and then after Diesel turned babyface at Survivor Series, he just said, "Oh, they aren't friends anymore, so they're vacating the title." Shawn Michaels not losing a title in the ring. I don't believe it. I don't believe
You're
it.
good, you're
Never
good,
in my
baby.
life.
Always be with you, man. It's gonna be you and me forever. not planting seeds at all.
And then like 2 days later, Diesel won the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From Backlund. Should have been Owen.
Should have been on. Should have been on after this pay per view. They should have led to. It should have
Owen
led to.
should have won it. Yeah, should have won from Brett.
Should have went from
Mhm.
Brett to Owen.
And even would have had for 2 months. That's fine.
All right. Well, that'll do it for King of the Ring 1994.
I don't.
Yeah.
Wasn't a horrible show. A couple matches was a little. Yeah.
Commentary. It is worth to go back just to listen to commentary.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
Art Donovan shockingly never was used on commentary ever again.
He should be in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
Oh, when
was
was
he
the
still
next-
alive?
I wonder when
no,
the next
he is
time
bad.
they used like a celebrity announcing spot, because like that's so bad.
Well, if you ever notice that from here on out, they get one match.
You get a
That's it.
match, yeah. One thing we should have mentioned in the current news thing, because it kind of ties to what we're doing next week. Ace Austin is in the Bullet Club.
Mhm.
This card was pulled.
He
Yeah.
got to the finals of the Best of Super Juniors, but unfortunately, he did not win.
Him and
Takahashi
Wheeler
won.
had pretty good showings.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know if they were in the same block.
No, I think Wheeler was in
Yeah.
Block B.
But yeah, so take a rundown what we're gonna do here.
So next week we are going to cover the history of said Bullet Club.
Now you said there's not a lot of storyline buildup. It's more or
Well,
less.
there's not a lot of like story. There
Yeah,
aren't angles like you would think of in American
Yeah, and
wrestling
so-
and Japanese wrestling.
Yeah, for the most part.
So we're just gonna go through like how it started, who the start members were, like, and then lead up to who.
you can do big matches.
Yeah,
like,
big matches.
More of the
that-
big moments are the things that happen in America
'Cause-
once Bullet Club got like worldwide popular.
Yeah, you know, like when Shawn Michaels wrestled Chris Jericho, and they had the whole Chris Jericho punched his wife and all that storyline.
And he actually did.
None of that in New Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
It's,
no.
it's always I want to beat you because I want the title.
And
or
then
to prove
after
I'm
the
better.
match, something
That's it.
happens, like where they get jumped out or.
Well, not usually jump. Somebody just comes out and says, "I challenge you."
Yeah, that's
No, I'm
usually
saying
it.
like
well,
with the
no,
Bullet
within
Club.
within Bullet Club.
Within Bullet Club, yeah. If
Within
you were
Bullet
leaving,
Club, if you were leaving, they notoriously turned on each other.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
picked a new leader.
And that was one of the things that New Japan, like, they didn't like them because they did heel stuff from America,
Mhm.
and like, oh, we don't like that. You know,
Yeah.
So,
Love
They
it.
have their traditions over there.
Fuck traditions. Let's have 100 titles.
they do.
100 titles and run-ins in every
All
match.
right, you ready for it? World title, Intercontinental title, United States title, Never title,
Yeah.
Tag title, Junior Heavyweight title, Junior Heavyweight Tag titles, 6-man tag title.
Love it.
100 titles.
Yeah.
The baby faces should lose clean, and the heels shouldn't cheat.
Yep.
But they're still heels somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we will do the history of the Bullet. I'm actually waiting for that Ace Austin Bullet Club t-shirt. It'll be the first Bullet-
Oh, did they make one already?
I'm sure they're going to. I'd hope they would.
Oh, I thought they did. I was like,
I
I,
don't-
thought he had it ordered and it
Yeah.
was on its
No.
way for next week.
No, I have not. I
did
don't-
you check? They might have one up
I
already.
checked on Pro Wrestling Tees. I didn't see it, but I don't own a Bullet Club shirt.
No, I own 3 or 4.
I own
Yeah.
a couple.
I
I
think-
own probably like the one that no one else owns.
Which
But
is-
Owen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've
Owen?
worn it. Chase
Yeah,
Owens.
Chase Owens.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's why.
yeah.
I have a Balor Club shirt.
Yeah, I got the original one. I got the box.
never bought it
I
because-
had a Bucks one, but
I never bought it because I never really watched the product, and I feel
Yeah.
like a giant like.
Yeah, I'm just
Fraud.
buying that for yeah.
For a good amount of time, little teaser, that was the hottest selling shirt at Hot Topic.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost I
was.
could have bought them on sale a bunch of times.
Kind of helped out the birth of AEW.
Absolutely, yeah. So I will definitely own my first. I would honestly, just because I met him, I'd probably get a Bay, like a Bay one, Chris Bay.
Chris
Does
Bay.
he
Oh yeah,
have?
he's.
Does he have one yet?
I don't know.
I don't know if he's. I think he was only in Bullet
the
Club
Impact version?
Impact.
Oh,
It's like NWO Japan.
Yeah, yeah. So like,
But like
in
he's,
real, he's not in the real Bullet Club. Sometimes you're
Right.
just in the Impact Bullet Club.
he is
Nothing
like
against him.
he is like he was brought in by Jay White though.
Yeah, but like
Until
NW
you're in Japan in the book club.
the
you're not really-
NWO
yeah,
Japan guys
yeah.
were never on Nitro.
yeah,
Well, Muda.
Chono, yeah,
Chono
yeah,
and
yeah,
Muda were.
that's it. There was a bunch of other guys that were never on Nitro.
yeah. So
Nothing against them.
maybe this will be the start of maybe once a month we'll throw a stable in, like the history of a stable.
No, there's only so many stables.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'd run out quick.
What we do monthly are these throwback shows. We're looking at a little pay-per-view. So for June or July, we are in June. For July, it's going to
Going
be one of the more well-received pay-per-views of the early days of pay-per-view. The NWA Great American Bash
I
1989.
say we're due for
Wow.
we're due for an NWA. I don't think
yeah.
we-
And this is a good one. It's going to have the Great Muta against Sting.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to have a War Games. If I'm not mistaken, the War Games is I know it's the Freebirds and the Samoans, but it's against, I believe, Dr. Death, the Road Warriors. I forget who's all in the match. Ryan Vox is probably in the chat and he'll know. And Ric Flair against Terry Funk for the world title. We're just talking about all those retirements.
This is a great show.
Ric Flair and Terry Funk.
There might
And-
be a couple opening matches that are.
There is a manager match that is better than it has any right to be. It is a tuxedo match
Ooh,
between Jim Cornette
Goddamn.
and Paul E. Dangerously.
Oh, wow.
man.
My
I'm
favorite
looking forward
manager
to
match is Buell McGillicuddy versus Bill Alfonso.
Not as much blood in this
Yeah.
one, but they for a tuxedo match between two unathletic managers, they do. Jim put a match together here.
There it is. All right, well, let's get to our plugs. Andy, what do you got?
Let's see. How about PPW this week in a ladder match? So how about that for the TV title? Me and Fox Vineyard, and I forget this-
WYLN.
Fox Vineyard, how much does he weigh?
Yeah, how much does this
How
guy
much does
weigh?
he
How much
weigh?
does that ladder weigh? PPW's normal place in Broadheadsville.
Tony, are they
So-
going to hit each other with the ladder?
Is that guy dead?
And they gotta climb that ladder? Why is that belt up there? So that's my big happening.
Oh,
this
you're in
weekend.
trouble, Paul Bo.
And,
You're in
and
trouble with
if
this
you
thing.
want to, I recommend going on YouTube and RWF, and if you go like halfway through, me versus Matt Quay in our 3-stage of hell match.
We actually had someone who.
Gonna say it was very good.
Yeah?
Yep,
Yeah, we had
28
a-
minutes long, so it's a long one. But
What were the 3 stages?
so the first match was nothing crazy. The first match, normal match. Second was submission, and then the third is last man standing.
Oh.
Okay. I see you. You have one less belt to carry around.
Yeah,
now?
oh yeah. Last week I lost.
Ooh la
that.
la.
Mr. Ooh la la.
Mr. Ooh la
Did he
la.
cheat or not? Who knows?
Never.
He's
Never.
he's a heel. Heels cheat.
Yeah.
But then Tony doesn't like it. So
Yeah.
maybe he doesn't like Mr. Roll
I love Mr. No, I don't mind when they cheat. All right, I'm not even gonna defend this. Yeah. So also at the PPW show, a lot of great car.
Moose is there, right? Or is that the
Moose
next
will-
one?
Moose
Yeah.
will be there as well as
Cowboy Bob Orton.
Cowboy
Oh yeah,
Bob
Cowboy
Orton.
Roddy
Orton.
Piper's
Not
on.
wrestling.
the,
No.
the Godfather.
The Godfather.
Godfather.
I'm really bummed. I don't. The other two guys are like the NXT guys.
I can bring it up here real quick.
I'm having a brain fart.
I forget. Should be a good show.
Yeah, I didn't do
my
my
homework
homework yet.
If you want to talk about just the local guys, not the name imports, a rematch for the PPW heavyweight title, Facade against Bro Keller
Mm.
There it is.
for the
Should be a
PPW
good one.
heavyweight title.
And then I believe tickets are on sale for the next event, the July
Yeah, this
event.
is PPW Never Back Down. Yeah, the first ever episode. My buddy Tom Mitchell with the Mitchell Minute, who's going to be with his guest, the Tag Team Champions Championship Material, and Mr. Ruda. So that'll be fun. We also have Alec Odin against Timothy Theory with Joe Davis.
I'll go newcomer.
We have Vinny Talata and Miami Mike Walker against South Philly's finest.
I really enjoyed that tag team last show. They're fun.
Bit of a rematch for the women's title. Tasha Steeles, also the Impact Knockouts champion still, I believe, defending that title against Danny Moe, the former champion. We have Brando Lee against Tarzan Duran. Griffin McCoy against a guy we know pretty well, Killian McMurphy, returning to
pretty good one.
PPW.
I'm pretty
That'll
happy
be
Killing's
very
back.
good.
Yeah.
Actually, Brando Lee and his tag team partner, you know where they're Johnny Rod's school guys.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Awesome. Action Andretti against Zachary Wentz. is
that
on
match would
show.
be crazy.
Yeah.
Alec Odin will be in action. So yeah, that's what we have. Tickets still on sale. 137 Aaron Lane, Broadheadsville, Pennsylvania, the Signature Training Academy.
You can come see me and Brian helping out with the meet and greet. I'm sure
Yeah.
we'll be with somebody. You can come in, come say hi and get your autograph with a
Meet and greet.
a
4:30
famous
p.m.
wrestler.
Meet and greet 4:30 p.m. Bell time 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Austin, what do you got?
Nothing. Outside of the sanctuary, I'll probably be there this weekend. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to do because of my knee right now. But yeah, other than that, keep watching pro wrestling and keep watching podcasts, especially this one, because if you want to keep talking about wrestling, keep engaging with people who talk about wrestling.
Yeah.
Oh, and also Moose against Alpha Jr.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
boss
trying
fight.
to build up that TikTok presence, but I'm going to be honest. There's some people that give their tanks on TikTok, and I'm just like, who fucking helps you put your pants on in the morning? Because your takes are crazy.
That's the internet for you.
That's
Jesus.
right.
That's the internet.
Like, and I know some of them are just saying it to get a reaction, to be that guy who says something crazy.
Yeah.
Like the one guy commented and he said,
Now he commented on our stuff. Or?
no, I commented on his. I took the bait. I said you
Took
don't.
the
I said
bait.
you don't
Fed the troll.
honestly believe this.
Probably not.
Like he literally said, like, how do grown men look at Conor McGregor and say, like, how does that guy beat me up? Like
I
you
saw
would-
this guy. Yeah.
and I was like, Conor McGregor
Because he's a trained
would
athlete.
kill you
Yeah.
yeah.
by accident.
Some people think like that. Like I said, that guy asked if Elias and Ezekiel were really brothers.
Yeah.
Again, perception is reality, like
But
you
then
said from
again,
the
this
beginning.
is
Yeah.
Conor,
Like Marina
Conor
Shafir, the whole-
freaking McGregor.
Yeah, like Marina Shafir. Like
Yeah.
realistically, I mean, her and Thunder Rosa, if it was a real fight, would be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I probably
because Thunder Rosa did MMA, right?
I
yeah,
would
but
still-
she had one pro fight and lost, and Marina Shafir was a little more.
and she's been training.
decorated.
I think Marina Shafir has
But you
been
could
training.
see it in Marina's body type too. She's kind of straight up and down, very muscular woman.
Yeah,
Like,
she would legit hurt people.
I think the
Yes.
fight might be better than the match was.
Yeah, but I thought commentary did a good job putting over the fact that people don't know a lot of stuff about Marina Shafir, and they're like, she's been training since she's 11 years old. Like,
Yeah,
like they did a good job putting that over. But like, yeah,
been
like,
training for wrestling for like 4 years, and
Yeah.
but she still has a UFC fighter in her between her look and everything.
I would just say
It-
MMA fighter. She didn't have a huge career in MMA. She was
MMA.
more known for being on the Ultimate Fighter than probably her MMA career. But Shayna Baszler had a little more of a UFC career than
Mhm.
Marina Shafir did.
Shayna Baszler also a very good wrestler.
yeah,
Correct.
yeah, yeah.
And
very
But she
good.
had a
excellent
love for
professional wrestler.
she had a
Out
love
of
for
all
it
the
as well.
girls from MMA, she's the best wrestler.
Yeah, I think she's the one who re-sparked all their interest in pro wrestling. Like, because when they would all hang out, like Shayna would be like, "Yo, I'm watching this," and Ron's like, "Oh, I watched this as a kid too."
Oh.
Mhm.
And then like
And
that's
Shayna's like, I want to
Shayna's
do
the
this,
envelope pusher.
Yeah.
yeah,
with the
Shayna was the
group.
one who like got like when they would be training MMA, like they were making videos like 15 years ago of them like in boxing rings doing
Yeah.
pro wrestling moves on each other.
My favorite Marina Shafir moment in professional wrestling, she wasn't even directly involved with. It was when Bobby Roode was the NXT champion, and he was feuding with Roderick Strong, who is
Her
Marina Shafir's husband, and he said that that Roderick Strong had a marginally hot wife.
Marginally hot. What?
uh,
That's a great insult / compliment.
Yes, I was just gonna say.
excellent match, Andy. Really enjoyed it. Looking forward
There
to
we
the
go.
next
See?
Iron Man.
Thank you very much. See, I wasn't blowing smoke.
He's a great supporter. He
Mhm.
watches everything. Brian, we got to plug.
ProjectHuman.com, Murder My Dude. We do have an episode releasing in a little over 2 hours, midnight.
Ooh,
Midnight Friday. We have yes, the witching hour. It's a little bit of an odd episode because This Week in Murder, which is normally our kind of opening segment, which is kind of like the appetizer to the main course, is the big thing here, because we kind of had to talk about the fact that there's like a mass shooting every day in this country.
Yeah, like
for the
twice
last
a
2
day.
weeks.
It's we're killing it.
So
Go
we
America.
we talk a lot about that. Then we talk, and June, we always try to do like a Pride My Dude episode. So we talked about a more obscure one. We've hit a lot of the big ones. We've hit the Harvey Milk assassination. We've hit Andrew Cunanan. We've hit, I'm drawing a blank. A lot of the big ones. We've hit a lot of the big ones. So this is one that's a lot less well known. The Hampton Roads Killer, which is a serial killer who killed 12 gay and bisexual men in Virginia from 1987 to 1996, and largely got away with it because these people were that he killed were also, like I said, gay and bisexual, and they're mainly like they called them like hobos,
Okay,
transients,
trans-
bums,
Less
yeah.
marginalized people.
Yeah, marginalized people, and they kind of just slipped through the cracks for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we cover that. If you're not a fan of the political takes, maybe skip this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did what we did, and it's going to be on projecthumanoid.com. Just look up "Murder My Dude" and you'll find us.
Kelly.
I actually have a different plug here today. I found this artist on Instagram.
Is it Mr. Ooh La La?
No, it's not. Her name is Maria Ling Paulson, but I do not know how to say her screen
Her name was Maria Paulson.
Her
Maria
name was Maria Paulson.
Paulson. Okay.
Her name was Maria Paulson.
It's a Fight Club joke.
Okay.
Oh, I don't.
In plugs, you have a name.
Yeah. So she does all this cool AEW
Who does?
art.
What's her name?
Maria Paulson.
Oh, thank you.
Her screen name is ANIMATORESQUE.
But what's her real name?
Let me just.
You
spin that
do
out.
it.
Maria
Maria
Paulson.
Paulson.
Thank you.
But she does all this awesome anime / cartoon
I think it's
AEW art.
Animator or something.
Animator Rescue.
Animator Rescue.
Okay, so you're better at that kind of shit than I am. I'm like,
She
what
combined it
in
like-
the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
Was she the singer of the classic 1970s rock opera "Bat Out of Hell"?
Yeah, possibly.
Robert Paulson, the movie was Meatloaf.
Yes.
Yes. We're connecting dots for you. here.
Yeah,
But she does a lot
It's
of good
been a
re-
while since I've seen. Is that Fight Club still?
Yes,
Yes.
Fight Club. Yeah.
It's
She
been a while
she does a
since
lot of
Fight
cool
Club.
wrestling art.
She does a lot of cool wrestling art, and then it's mostly AEW. So
that's
cool.
Go back. Let me see that
Go.
that Statlander there. Actually, I do remember seeing this Adam Cole shirt.
And there's a Statlander at the Tamako Walmart. I gotta get there to get it.
Is there?
Yeah.
So that and Truth Behind the Illusion on Tuesday, we are doing Screaming Skulls, right?
Mhm.
I
So-
loved when Steve Austin had that title.
Yeah.
This screaming skull.
smoking skull.
I was actually listening to a clip on the internet of a Joe Rogan episode with look at the Willow
It's
Nightingale.
Willow. I wanted to send her to you, but I forgot.
Yeah,
I
Willow
scrolled right by. I'm like, I should send that to Tony. And I'm
I love me some Willow. Where Joe Rogan was talking with Aykroyd about the crystal skulls.
oh yeah, that's the Crystal Skulls. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he has Crystal Skull vodka.
Yeah.
You know that?
Well,
yeah.
it's
The bottle is really cool.
Yeah,
My friend bought one.
I have a
They're also
mini
like
one.
$100.
Yeah,
I
very
have
expensive.
A mini one I had gotten as a gift. They are actually the theory behind that. Like Dan Aykroyd, for people who don't know, is very much into the paranormal. Like he is very much.
He is
Ghostbusters.
Ray Stantz.
he's more
He is.
into the extraterrestrial, I think, more than the paranormal.
No,
into
no,
everything.
no. His family. He wrote a book once upon, like a couple years ago, and I wish I had it. He was on Good Morning America and stuff, and would say like how his family would have seances, and he was very much into that kind of stuff, the paranormal world.
If anything, he's more Egon.
Yeah, and
Like in real life.
he is the Ghostbuster. But anyways, this vodka is actually poured over Herkimer diamonds, which Herkimer. Now I'm going to nerd out on geology here. Herkimer,
Can you imagine?
yeah, the vodka is poured over Herkimer diamonds. Herkimer diamonds are these certain pieces of quartz that come from Herkimer, New York, that have 9 sides and are very high vibrational.
Do they get you
They're very crystal clear. People think they have a, and including
my.
myself, I have a shit.
Did you ever
ton of them.
watch a video with him when he talks about all that shit?
Yeah, he's great.
Well, everything I've ever seen, he
I
talks
love
about
him.
aliens more.
No,
No.
he's far out there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
I love him.
Yeah.
I love Ray, and I love him as himself. so.
Listen, Aykroyd's the man. I like him when he serves cheeseburgers and Cokes. That's an old skit.
Yeah.
I thought Brian would have me there.
Cheeseburger.
Yeah. That'll do it. Interviews. IWEPnetwork.com. You can check out our shows. A lot of shows are going to be put on the shelf, but it is what it is. I'm going to put more attention into this one. So Bangin' Beers is pretty much done. We might do like a last call episode. Who knows? Not Cool in High School is just going to go to Disney, and the horror one, whenever we record it and put it up, it goes up, but that won't be a bi-weekly thing anymore. Truth Behind Illusion will be pretty much you guys killing it. I'll pretty much be producing it. If you just want me to sit here, I'll sit here. But I just don't. I'm just in a creative slump right now where I just fucking hate my life. Looking at numbers is not good for me, especially when like you put a podcast out and you get like 4 plays. You're like, what the fuck am I doing?
I think it's just a tough time right now. People are on vacation.
I just think people just listen to famous people's podcasts and don't give a fuck
It's
about.
true. It's oversaturated, but
It is, but it's people choose to support people who are
Mhm.
have more clout. It's just what it comes down to, and it is what it is. So the people who do support, I do appreciate it. It means a lot. Yeah, we took a huge nosedive in the audio category. Like it just went like we were ranked every other week, and now it's just like gone. But
Your video people are really showing up for you, and we appreciate it.
yeah, you guys who comment and live and
Don't
hang
worry
out
about
on
what
YouTube.
you don't have. Worry about what you do.
Yeah, but I'm someone who wants to grow.
Yeah.
And
Everybody does.
and if but when I get
if you,
when
you sit down and think about all the things you don't have, you'll be there your whole life.
it's not,
right.
it's not so much what I don't have. It's
I
just
know,
I'm
I'm
very
saying.
competitive, and if I want to keep progressing, and
I
when
know.
you don't progress, it's like
yeah, and you know my stance about this, and it's funny you talk about this because at the last Truth Behind the Illusion, you said it yourself in the 27 Club, where most of those people said, "I'm going to die before I'm 27," or "I'm going to die when I'm 27," and what happened? They died because they thought it and they believed it. This
Literally
is
made
oh, then I
most
should
of
be
it.
fucking famous because I
Well,
thought for 4
in
years
the
that I'm
end,
going to kill this and do
you're
it.
still focusing on low numbers. You got to focus on.
I don't focus on them, but when they show up, that's what I'm looking at. So if
You've
you do an
got
episode and has 40
redirect.
plays,
Redirect.
okay,
Redirect.
So we'll just pretend that they're not there.
So if this episode does particularly well, we have to open our episodes with how much does that guy weigh?
Yes, it has to be the
That's
Art
what it-
Donovan
that's what it comes
podcast.
down
We're
to.
gonna have an Art Donovan banner. He's gonna be in the next series.
Oh my god, that's a great idea. We don't have to ask for permission.
No, well, we might have to ask.
But,
the
what do they call that when someone dies? The estate.
estate of Art Donovan.
But yeah, check out the network. If you guys are on social media, follow us on all social media. And like I said, we're doing the TikTok thing now. I don't know how I made a booby video that went pretty well on my personal one.
TikTok is
Oh, yeah, you
it's
said
here and
that.
there because I can make something that's really informational about crystals and stuff on my page, and then I make something stupid like at the drive-in the other night. I made a drive-in quick TikTok because they were playing Lost Boys music, and all I done was hashtag Lost Boys, and I have over 1,000 views.
There it is.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's no rhyme, no reason to
I
it.
would
But,
say the best way is be a hot chick and show your body. That will probably get you to the top.
It helps probably.
Mhm.
And right now I'm kind of obsessed with Stranger Things, so that's kind of my deal now. Just watching Stranger Things. But thank you guys
Love
so much.
Stranger Things.
If you are going to be there this Saturday, come over and say hi to one of us. Take a photo with us, whatever you want to do. That's all great. We support we love you guys for the support, and we're going to keep grinding away. But the other shows, they're dead. They're dead.
But if you don't listen to that, none of that matters. So
yeah. So if you watch
Tail
other
Tech
ones, just know
Podcast.
that just put
Next
more
week.
attention to this one. We'll love it. But see you guys next time. We're out of here.
Bye bye.